Good morning, Booster Boy. Good morning, everyone, to a Path of Exile 2 stream. Yes, not one, it's actually two, because I saw something that we desperately need to do. So we're going to be breaking Path of Exile for the cost of one single Exalted orb today. And we're going to start with a Huntress, and she's going to be the Riven Armor Madness. Because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to mess around with Riven armor, and it's truly going to be atrocious. Can't actually wait to see how well this will turn out to work. And it should work plenty well. Now let's just hope that Path of Exile actually runs proper, because sometimes the performance of the game can be weird. Lonely Doug, good to see you there. Wonderful, good day. We're going to begin with a Huntress for the reason that we want to become a Amazon, since that will allow us to do so copious amounts of crazy damage. It's actually not even going to be fun anymore. So it's going to be like plan number one. Hello, Mr. Wounded Man. Oh, Heartwood Spear. We're not gonna stay spear long, right? It's just literally like in the beginning of the game, just take the spear and that's about it. We're going to be focusing on is actually the crossbow another time. And that's what I meant about weird ass performance. Like, you know, you have the shaders done and all that kind of stuff. Your FPS are amazing, but the game for some reason just doesn't feel super fluent, right? Like it's just weird. And I've not figured out yet, like, you know, occasionally we can make it feel less weird. But yeah, Path of Exile being strange at times. Yeah, we're doing two today, only. Not because one has gotten boring, but because I saw something this morning that we just, for the love of God, had to play around with. And the idea behind this is, since we're quite deep into the league, is to see that we break the game for the cost of one single Exalted orb for people that would like to have a good time like me and do some unreasonable stupid things, right?
So this is the sickness I will know about.
Boop, boop, boop. Can't believe I usually just throw my spears at the man, right? Because I'm too lazy to stab, where you actually know that stabbing is way more important. Just got my witch 2 maps, was bored of your warrior. How can you be bored of the warrior when it was arguably the most insane thing to play in 03? However, I might have something like even more fun for you. Gotta say, like, I already know some of the mechanics, how they work for this build, but I gotta smoothen it out that it also feels extremely good for mapping, right? So we're gonna be starting as a Huntress, but we will play a crossbow, and we will do some interesting things down the line. So like right now, the performance just went from fluent to weird. How do you discover this strat since you've been playing most of D4 and POE 1 before Jelry? You know, I spend time messing around with games, even if I'm not streaming. So, you know, I play things. I read forums. I spend time on Path of Exile, Discords, and all that kind of stuff until interesting stuff pops up. You gotta be on top of your game no matter what you play, right? You gotta be paying attention to whatever's going on. Always. What we're going to use is this little bad boy here for the leveling portion, because he's quite broken. And what we're going to do to make this even more broken is I need cold damage. So we're going to take the Lesser Glacier runes for now to put them in. And then we're going to like put bigger in and bigger in and bigger in, right? But that's going to be our little tool of mass destruction. However, we can't obviously use that right away because, well, we're not, right? I don't have the strength. Yeah, Amazon starts with 8 strength. You can't actually just pull that out. Let's see if he actually has something strength related that would give us strength. Oh, there we have boots here. Fantastico, chat. We can take these boots, then I can actually put on the beauty of a weapon. Doesn't that look good? Okay, here. Oh my goodness. It's like when you have the skill gem restriction shebang on. Because the basic plan is we're gonna have here the permafrost bolts, which are quite nasty. But what this crossbow does is when you load bolts in them, right? And you have recently reloaded, you don't actually have any reload going on. So you just go bop, 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 and you shoot away like there's no tomorrow. So let's see how that does. Why not the POE 1 new league? We've already done that, sir. We've already POE 1 all the way to the end, and it was super fun, don't get me wrong. Yeah, that's what. The recent reloaded means in the last 4 seconds, right? Which then has you pretty much have infinite ammo for the time being. And since we're using permafrost bolts, that's like for the leveling portion, quite nifty. Now what we could do is we could do permafrost together with fragmentation rounds because you can actually shatter them. It's going to be some nifty reload mechanic swapping for the time being. Don't worry, all the VODs are up on what we're doing, so you can just check out like our Path of Exile 1 shenanigans we've done, right? Oh, we need to set a loot filter for this. I forgot. Right now, we're running around with our witch minion loot filter, which obviously would be horrible. Set up our Path of Exile 2 other loot filter. Oh, that goes cool. There's the lady, right? You're gonna shoot, reload, and then pop, 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 pop. Life can be so much fun early on. Use your Hollow Palm Shattering build and it's insane. It is, but you might like this one even more. I mean, this one is obviously made like here to be something that you do on your second character because you would need one single Exalted Orb to buy yourself the respective crossbow. The good thing is that this crossbow only costs 1 Exalted Orb. And the best thing is that this crossbow pretty much aids you all the way into the end game, right? So it's not just good for the one time we're using it here right now. No, this is the crossbow we're actually going to use from now to level 19. When we're obviously going to add another crossbow to it, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty much the main star of the show. Why we're doing POE 2 though over POE 1? Because I just simply wanted to. You know? Sometimes you see something so cool in a game and you're like, man, this would make for a really fun video that would make people happy. You know? And you're just, damn, we gotta do it. Gotta get it done. I mean, this is just so stupid. Beautiful. Generally speaking, I like permafrost rounds, right? But using them early is shitty because you are getting to the point where you just simply don't reload, right? And you're just spending your time like reloading and double penetration and whatever. It just doesn't feel good. However, if we're juicing it up like with the Rampart Raptor, that's a little bit different. I mean, we're not even juicing it up as much as we could. Because I could just put on like here beautiful iron rings now, right? And that would make things even more crazy. Reminds me that we should check if the store actually has iron rings to offer.
Sorry, I've collected these.
Oh, no iron rings from you? That would have been way funnier if you had any, right? Oh no, I need to keep the bonus strength for now. Dan? A board of PO1, no sir. That has nothing to do with board. Everything to do with I just like to make other things.
Sorry, these are just... Oh, I like this one.
Oh no, give me that back. Okay. Wait, we could do something that I completely forget to do. But if I'm already at it, I might as well get it done, right? That reminds me here, standard iron ring. Okay. What's the name of the crossbow again? The crossbow is called the Rampart Raptor. What it says is, if you have recently reloaded, then you pretty much have infinite ammo. Right? He's quite something. Well, look at that. Streamer loot, ladies and gentlemen. We go skill gem, then we're gonna make our permafrost bolts level up. And you notice we don't need anything else, right? That's it, what we need. Okay, let's talk to our friend Renly.
Now this won't.
Now for the permafrost bolts, they are doing frost damage, right? They convert physical to cold damage. So the best thing you could do is just slap on elemental armament in the beginning, because you're just getting more damage out of it, right? Thing is, we're gonna have to like stay on top of the game with continuously upgrading the weapon, that we can pretty much keep the damage high and it doesn't like fall away. But with like gloves that have flat damage, with rings that have flat damage and that kind of stuff, you can actually keep the damage going all the way through, right? We are though going to look for a second crossbow for bosses, because there's going to be something really interesting coming. What we also want to have is pierce, because right now you shoot an enemy, right? And the bolts, they don't go through said enemy, which means I shoot these guys, right? And they're standing next to each other, but the guy, for example, behind the first one does not get frozen, which can feel awkward at times, because you're like, I mean, I'm just shooting at you, right? How can it be that you're not also getting frozen? Well, you know, because you're effectively not piercing that thing.
This here was someone's home. Don't discriminate.
Beautiful. So with the second support gem, we're actually gonna go for Piers now, because Piers, you can see that in a second. Like, see now if they're standing behind that, we're pretty much freezing all of this, right? So they're here. Like, notice how that's big difference. Especially here for the stupid mechanic in the beginning. Look at this. And what you have to imagine right now is Herald of Ice. Because that's what we're going to get, obviously. We're going to get ourselves the Herald of Ice on top of this, right? Is this available on Steam Deck? Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Path of Exile 2 runs really well on Steam Deck. You pretty much run one reload is needed to then go infinite. Oh, torn gloves. I don't have gloves yet. What we're looking for is gloves also with flat damage. So any flat damage, right? Any kind of damage is going to be good. Might it be fire? Might it be lightning? Actually, lightning would be better, because if we get flat lightning damage, that will cause shock. It will like freeze, shock, everything. We could even add a Herald of Thunder, probably. Jesus. The Ranger, no, it's actually Amazon. Why Amazon? Amazon allows you later to get crit like crazy. And when we're saying like crazy, we actually do mean like crazy. Since the basic plan would be that we are using high velocity rounds, okay? And high velocity rounds apply something called Riven armor. That Riven armor stores the damage of the high velocity rounds, okay? You're with me. And then afterwards, after it's stored the damage of the high velocity rounds, if you shoot him with something like fragmentation and or the permafrost bolts, what will happen is that the Riven armor triggers for every single fragment you shoot. So you pretty much are going to overload one enemy like there's absolutely no tomorrow. And it's going to be brilliant. It sounds more complicated than it actually is, right? It totally makes sense. Wow, that's a beautiful bow. So what I need right now is obviously the high velocity rounds so I can pre-mitigate store damage on enemies and then make it pop like off like crazy. Obviously for this we gotta get our level gem first. Oh, he's reloading on the left crossbow other things. I'm wondering what is like consistently causing this to go weird. It's my left reload. Ah, that was kind of weird. We keep leveling up that. Are they going to fix FPS on Cold Soul? It's been a year. Juiced maps are still unplayable on PS5. Sir, they can't even fix it on PC, and PC technically has unlimited hardware, right? So, yeah. I do believe, as always, that the league's overarching content are going to help with performance fixes, but I don't expect performance fixes during a running league because that's pretty much the big patch, right? Patch 04 that's coming towards the end of the year. And I dearly do hope that they're taking care of performance, right? I mean, as always, blame Path of Exile 1 if you want to, right? For slowing down our content. Okay, we're gonna activate the loot filter in a second, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Like, I usually never kill this many enemies, right? Where we're just zooming through, more or less. But due to how absolutely easy cheesy it is to kill things, you're kind of like, nah, I'm good. You know, we're just gonna kill things. Okay, that was 1, 2. So the third one should usually be very close here. However, it's kind of like a weird mutation, and I can't feasibly guess where it's going to pop up. I would have said it's like here, but that's where number 2 was. So 3 could also be all the way up on the top. Yeah. Skill tree is huge, yeah, but you get used to it. The skill tree starts always at a prefixed point for every class, right? And then you're going to get yourself... say brain? There's a search function. And you're just going to use that search function. I mean, right now I use projectile skills, so you pretty much just buff your projectile skills, and that's it. Right? Okay, there comes the man, the myth, the legend. Let's reload.
Let your blade fall where it will. Your fight's done now.
Having way too much fun with this. This looks fun. It is, right, man? The best part is this bow is not expensive. So you want to have this bow, it's one single Exalted orb in the trade. That's it. And that obviously makes life so much easier when you can have a build for the cost of pretty much nothing, right?
Sorry, I like to hold on to bits and pieces.
So like, do you notice how the game is now slightly stuttery? You should notice this on stream. It's like whenever I teleport back in town, for some reason, Path of Exile 2, as of recently, starts doing that to me. Make it make sense, Chan. The gloves that do any damage? No gloves that do any damage.
If you find a find out there, don't bring it back.
Because it's Tuesday, I wish, my friend, I wish.
These are just some
Oh, here we got Amulet,
helps.
maximum life, mana regeneration. Good.
Bye.
We got our level 3 skills. So with the level 3 skill, we can soon get our high velocity rounds, okay? And these we now need to break armor with. Now the high velocity rounds, they can use the 10's crossbow, or like I gotta see like which crossbow I want to use this with. So we have crossbow 1 and we have crossbow 2. Currently crossbow 1 is better. And they don't actually break armor natively, right? Yeah, high velocity rounds don't break armor natively. But we do actually need to... I don't think it can actually break armor early on, right? We need to wait at least for break more armor. We need at least tier 2 to start breaking armor with this for the time being.
What happened here? Good. Now the others.
Here's hoping I don't come to regret this.
Let's see. So weird when it's like causing things to... Like, see, you notice that the menu even is like lagging for no reason. Actually limit the FPS to 180. That
He's in
helps a bit with the felt experience, because it's just so off-putting at times. What are you expecting the new season of POE 2? The new season of POE 2 is coming in December. I just don't know how early, because they obviously don't also want to compete with Diablo. Now, I know these games don't actually compete with each other, right? That's something very important to say. Like, they're two different... They're both ARPGs, but they don't actually, like... You know, they'll play in the same... They like, yeah, we can use this too right now, because this automatically pierces. It's actually really nifty for the time being.
Come on.
Right? Kind of cool. We got the red veil here. We get the boss. Then the other one is there. To make it make sense, this is 230 FPS, right? Chad? And it shouldn't cause any weirdness. But as you can see, sometimes the game does not do as smooth as it should. Right? Does this look like 230 FPS to you?
Not even the trees of escape.
So just as a difference, if we use this instead of the freezing, right? Works as well, really well.
And only stopping this wrath.
I enjoy being a beanie. I still remember you saying they're still trying to make Werebear Strafe with WASD. Well, they are. Trying to have Werebear Strafe with WASD. Right? Okay, where... Ah, it's right below me. Freezing effect can even affect the game. Dude, I've been sitting here all day long trying to figure out what is happening. That's why the stream is a bit later than usual, right? Been just sitting here trying to piece together why specifically the game is behaving so weird when it shouldn't. That reminds me though, let's quickly get our loot filter done. In case you don't know how loot filters work, let me give you a quick introduction. Rat 2, just finished my 6 months of deployment. Thank you, sir.
The rise.
And welcome back. I hope everything went well.
Hurry.
So you go on filter blade XYZ, that's what I'm using. Create a new filter. And we're gonna do strict adjust for new build. We are a Huntress, but we're looking for crossbows only, no bucklers. And we want evasion rating, armor, evasion rating kind of gear. Up, right? Then we apply, export. It's cross, Huntress, and save and export. Boom. Now I can open up the options, game, item filter, cross Huntress, done. Actually really, really nifty how easy you can set up filters, right? You're getting lag when you go in town into POE 1 at the moment. I mean, that lag is normal. That's just POE 1 servers being overloaded. But what we're getting here in terms of like weird performance, it just doesn't make sense because let me show you something. So this is the game how it is right now, correct? So if I now walk from left to right, okay, and I actually tap out of the game as we do this. So I go left to right, then tap out of the game. The game is smoother than when I'm tapped into the game. Now explain that. Now, I did try a lot to alleviate that issue, right? So even go for like different render engines because you always have the option to say, hey, what if it's a direct 12 related issue, right? You have two different render engines that you can mess with. So you get yourself all the way up here. We're in 12, right? You could go for DirectX 11. You could also go for Vulkan. Problem is that Vulkan kind of like messes with the FPS as well, right? The game is unplayable without DSLR, DLSS, FSR. We have FSR on, and it does do a good job, right? FSR is obviously nice. However, like none of these work like perfect, to be honest. I mean, we could try DirectX 11. I haven't actually done that in a while. Usually the game runs like perfect on 12, which is what has me like because how can the game run perfect on 12, but then like it used to run perfect? Check if 11 feels somewhat different now. I haven't actually run the game in 11 in a while. What's the next class? The next class is definitely Druid. I mean, they've been talking about it so much, and people are so eager to play Druid that if it's anything but Druid, it would be weird. That's DirectX 11 now, huh? Interesting. What happened here, chat? I mean, obviously it's because he's trying to compile the DirectX 11 shaders, but even though, like that's crazy, right? From a performance standpoint, how we shader going up from that to that FPS here right now? Well, let the shaders load for a second, and then we can look if it actually feels a bit better. This is just like an interesting conundrum of performance, right? Argue that it's slowly stabilizing. And we need to find the Druid. Where's the Druid? So that would be the leaving point, but we don't want to leave. Let's see. No more period 1 cause. Well, we went really well with our Poisonous Concoction Pathfinder, and we're just like, you know, we're just doing those pinnacles and the tier 16, 17 maps. So I felt like I wanted to do something in POE 2, even though the POE 2 performance have been really mean to me. Server-side optimization issue. Oh, no, Mura. This is not server-side optimization issue. It's kind of like very, very weird Path of Exile 2 related shenanigans. Okay, that reminds me though. So we could go further here. This is projectile damage, but it's kind of like useless, correct? The AC rating is also useless. However, there is nothing other damage-wise that you can actually reach for, right? Because we have up here, this is like pin build-up, stun build-up, whatever. Here is attack speed, and we do actually want that for later, because if we have like a gun that shoots extremely fast, that's fine. Technically we should go here through the middle, because then we can reach this 40% increased projectile damage, right? Because otherwise we only have here like increased attack damage and then elemental damage, which actually would work. But only if I'm going through things, because that's like, yeah, where we're gonna end up. I mean, technically, you could make your way really simple to this one too. Like, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I'm better like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go like through the middle here to make this work. I mean, optimally, like we could also just start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then we save ourselves a point. Which looks like so weird because it wouldn't be connected. But you know what? Let's just do that. Have you tried to use the other shader option, the Vulcan? We actually did try out Vulcan before, and Vulcan does work, right? Vulcan ain't bad. However, the FPS get like torched in a very weird way to extreme low values. Okay, do we freeze him or do we... Something is like severely wrong with DirectX 12 has helped me a lot. See, like that's the problem. DirectX 12 is just not working correctly. I mean, technically the performance should be good, right? From a straight perspective here, and as you can see, it's kind of doing it. Also, Vulcan is different though if you're on Windows, what is it called again? Vulcan is very different if you're on AMD or if you're on, called again? If you're on AMD or if you're on Radeon. That makes actually a huge difference in terms of how things are running. Because Vulcan on AMD usually runs vastly better, right? Simply because it's native to AMD. Okay, so far the Raptor bow has worked perfect, I gotta say. I wonder when the damage drop-off is coming, because at some point the bow will need to be maximum super juice bonus to actually continue doing what it does, right? I wonder when that drop-off will happen. Here, gloves with bonus physical damage. That's what I meant, because that physical damage bonus is just working wonders, obviously, for what we're playing here. Right, random belt.
I'll find some stick to the cairns.
Hello. Please. Stay safe.
Seems every game has issue with NVIDIA and shade stutter. I mean, like, right now, all the recent games, definitely, there has been a ongoing theme of, hey, shade stutter's a thing, right? Yes, and that's a fact. I mean, like, remember the times with Elden Ring? Some people couldn't play Elden Ring until they fully optimized their shaders and everything, and then they finally could actually play Elden Ring. But it was pretty much like a long time until that was possible. Which is like plenty weird, right? There was like either you could play it or you had to like optimize around on your PC until your legs fell off. Do I have enough strength finally? Yeah, I have 14 strength, so that's good like. If you're looking at this right now, even in Vulcan, despite having like here good FPS, right? This isn't top tier performance. And obviously he's doing the shaders right now, so I'm gonna wait until he has the shaders completely compiled, and then we'll see if we have to swap out again, sadly. We get ourselves a normal ring. I mean, we could turn that into magic and see if we do a bit more damage, but we also get ourselves another support. We still can't make this actually break armor, but I could give it the brutality to just have it do like insane amounts of physical damage, so that could actually work. However, I prefer my permafrost bolts with the Pierce right now, so we're not going to do. By the way, if you wanted to go crazy, we could just also like equip a Jeweler's Orb to the build to like take it further, right? Restart capture card. FPS suck. That has nothing to do with the capture card, my friend.
Reckon it's time.
Okay.
To put this Draven to bed.
This is the game actually, right? I'm currently waiting until he has this one here until he stops doing that. Just to show the comparison here, so we're going back to 12, right? This is now 12, but you notice the weirdness persists in the game. However, build itself is being fire. I wonder if I want to swap over to evasion. Nah, we're probably not going to mess with evasion at all. So by the way, that was my question. We go for Vulcan, and it stays at FSR because he swapped to NIS actually over for no reason, right? Just make it's been absolutely breaking my mind this morning. I mean, it's obviously playable, but it just looks weird. What are we cooking, Dr. Q Soul? We are cooking a mercenary in Path of Exile, mercenary, a Huntress in Path of Exile 2. And we are having a funny little level build going on that leads to an absolute broken endgame build by using our Rampart Raptor, which gives us infinite bullets as we recently reloaded. So for 4 seconds, you're pretty much having infinite ammo. Then you reload, then you have infinite ammo again, which is actually nice because usually, yeah. You have frame gen on? Oh yeah, we have all the options on that you need. Like you need FSR, there's no question about that. Because without FSR the game is not running, but if it's on or off, it doesn't change anything, to be honest. On the stuttery feeling, we get the textures low because textures low is kind of like helping. And we have the dynamic culling and the triple buffering usually on, right? But it doesn't help in this case at all. See, like Again, the thing that doesn't make sense, and I feel like something is going wrong with Windows at the moment, is if I tap out of the game, it's running smooth, right? If I run the game tabbed out, but as soon as I'm actually inside the game, it's kind of like going weird. So make that make sense. Damn, I'm definitely fighting too many things right now. Like, usually I try to avoid a lot of fighting while leveling because it's just tedious. But if you're just OP, then it's not tedious anymore. There's another one. A double fracture, double abyss that early? No, I can't wait to pick up the what's it called again? The Herald of Ice. It just absolutely destroy everything. Beautiful. Like, seriously beautiful. Okay, permafrost rounds, level 3. And more supports. Run the game in full screen mode. Surprisingly, that doesn't actually change a single thing. I did try that because I wanted to know, hey, would actually full screen mode help, right? If you go from window to full screen, and then like you expect a better performance per se, but it doesn't. It's literally like as if the game is just refusing to run proper. Where is the lady? Wait, are we Draven or is it? Oh shit! I was thinking this is Asinia because Asinia is in a different position than Draven, right? So this is Draven, right? Yeah. Yikes! If I had known that, I would have gone different because I just know that Draven is. This is how the game is supposed to run. Super smooth.
Eternal.
Beautiful. How can you not be absolutely enjoying that? Hmm? Oh, that's a big helmet with a lot of armor. Thank you, Mr. Monk, for the second month of support, Mr. Monk appreciation. Or third month of total, actually. Sorry, sir. That is on my side.
What have we got? Anything take your fancy?
Okay, we wanted to make the ring magical. See if it did anything better than what we had here. Did we get our runes? We actually need to wait for level 15 to use the runes proper, right? Technically, we could. So, technically, we could apply frost exposure, right? On a boss. Frost bomb. Yeah, but what for? You know, what for? Cemetery. A question about current Twitch drops. Which ones? For which game? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, suddenly the game is just running perfect, but why? Twitch drops depends on the drop itself. Some of the drops can be used in Path of Exile 1 and in Path of Exile 2. It's a bit weird. I think it makes sense, but it is what it is. Cool, it's good to see you there, partner. How are you doing? So, for example, the Path of Exile 1 new portal that you're getting for gifting away 2 subs, right? That one can be used in both games. Right? You know what this bow shows, chat? You know what this crossbow shows? That reloading is stupid. Right? I mean, think about it for a second. The game feels absolutely fantastic because we don't have to reload. That's why it feels fantastic. But if we have to reload, it stops feeling fantastic, right? So, what does that tell us now? If not reloading is good and reloading is bad.
At last it's open! Praise the first ones! What is this? Graves, Isabel, Torko, Callum. The family
Steven, good morning. How are you doing?
My family. This doesn't make any sense. They're dead.
They're dead.
Bastard Eternals. I must make them pay. I must make them suffer.
Steven, so good to see you there. Steven, a wonderful good day to you. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you're having a good time. I mean, this is all just Act 1, right? You haven't even seen half of it. Haven't even seen half of it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get more crazy down the line. And we're currently like focusing on really doing the things not too hardcore juiced, right? I could obviously like now apply jeweler's orbs and everything and push this further, but I kind of like to play, you know, with one specific item, but then still not take it too far, if that makes any sense to you. Una, please revive it. From POE 1 to 2, well, POE 1 made me want to play POE 2 again, sir, because there is some things I desperately wanted to try out. You know? So here we are, having fallen for the
You'll survive well in that.
lightning damage.
So well.
This. So if we... I don't... It's in my... Bye.
Which rendering are we in right now? So we're still in Vulkan, right? We still have FSR on. I wonder if I put my textures back to high, but it actually cheeses the system, because it did cheese the system at times before, right? Change the textures. Put the shadow quality to low at times, but that didn't do anything as well. It's so weird, this stuff. Does equipping dual weapons mean lower damage output compared to a single weapon with shield on the Titan? Technically, yes. Practically, no. It depends on your two weapons. The reason why you were using two weapons usually is because you're getting +6 to all your attack skills. If now your attack skill doesn't profit from the +6 very much, then, yeah, well, what do you have there, right? So you need to have skills that heavily profit from more levels, because then you're cooking. But if your skills don't profit from more levels, then that's not helping, right? So which skill are you using? How much survivability are you putting away? Is the skill losing attack speed due to using two weapons, and so on? So right now it has turned out, for example, for the Fisher Warrior, that it definitely does not need two weapons, right? Is POE 2 a more demanding game hardware-wise? No. POE 2 is just badly optimized. There's just some weird, really weird issues going on with the game at times. Like, I literally sat down this morning, all morning long, trying to smooth the game out again, and I couldn't, for the love of God. Okay, freeze him. Oh wow, he instantly got unfrozen out because he's the Crowbell.
I've been itching for a good hunt.
Jade, yeah, performance update should come, I know, but that doesn't help us right now, correct? I need to actually figure out, like, because it used to run, like, really well even at the start of the league. So I wonder what actually changed. Die! Die! Oh. Run ahead of him. We're planning to make another Char for Path of Exile 1. Probably not. I enjoyed my Poisonous Concoction Pathfinder, but I don't think I will make another one. Okay, so now we can do increased projectile damage to boost our damage of the permafrost rounds even further. Using a Stampede Thunder build. Well, the problem I think with Stampede and Thunder was if you start using a two-handed weapons, you are too squishy. You actually want to have a shield instead of two-handed weapons, right? And a weapon plus a shield on the Stampede Thunder usually. Yeah, that's what you're looking forward to. A very mid-spec laptop, a very simple Crimson. You can buy the game on Steam because you don't have to buy the game in their launcher, right? You can buy the game on Steam, install it, and play and see how your performance is holding up on your mid laptop. Again, the game is running rather well. However, right now it's probably not the best to look at the performance here right now, because again, my game is actually running in 240 FPS, right? I am actually running in extreme FPS. Right? However, it doesn't look like that, does it? And that's where things are just weird. Because again, you have the different renders, like from DirectX 12 to Vulkan to whatsoever. And usually the game runs quite perfect. Just however, today it decided to not. Now we already checked everything from is my monitor running really in 144 Hz or not? Correct? Is it running in full screen? Is it not running in full screen? Do we have the filtering? I don't know. Can we turn the shadows? Should we turn the global illumination on to hope that the global illumination would fix it? Like, even if we have everything on low, right? And yet it still feels like weird as hell. I don't know if I would be good at making builds. Okay, use Tundra. Your question shall be answered. We're using right now something called Permafrost Bolts. If you go on a skill in Path of Exile, it tells you what the skill does. Okay, so here, let me open this. Let me pin it for a second. So it tells you that this is an AoE ammunition projectile cold merging skill. So what happens is you're going to go into your passive tree and you're like, okay, I got AoE. So I'm going to enter area in. That means all the area nodes would actually buff this. Okay, then I'm going to go for projectile, which means everything is going to buff this as well. Everything projectile related. So you just have to pick up these nodes to make it stronger, right? Then you know it is an attack because it says attack here. So everything attack related also works, right? And that's how you slowly piece together things. Now, that is how you standard play the game. Then there's obviously from the standard play also over to the next level. Because what would the next level then be? The next level would be when you're taking the normal concepts and you're taking them a bit further. For example, we have a skill called high velocity rounds, okay? And high velocity rounds are a bit more complicated because they shoot enemies. And if they break armor, they apply something called Riven armor. What does Riven Armor do? Riven Armor stores the damage that the skill would have dealt. So let's say the skill does 1,000,000 damage hit. Then that 1,000,000 damage gets stored, and every consecutive hit does 5% of that 1,000,000 damage. If you now take something like this shot here, that does 10 hits at the same time, and you're doing 5% of 1,000,000 damage 10 times, but with this attack speed over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Yeah. Oh, Hemo, I am on a 2 PC setup. My games run on a gaming PC. My streams run on the streaming PC. Big difference to the standard things, right? Is a 2050 laptop running PoE 1 around 100 FPS still be able to run PoE 2? 2050? I mean, maybe at 60. I mean, if you run the game with DLSS on and everything, it should be fine. Don't see how that wouldn't work. Okay, let's see. We get an Iron Ring, chat. That is not better, but we get a level 4 skill, so we can upgrade our Permafrost bolts even more. But they do also only 15 damage, ladies and gentlemen. However, that's more than enough to just delete everything with one shot, right? If you play console, PoE 1 servers are dead on console. I thought, like, console PoE was crossplay. Is it not the case for PoE 1? You have a 1080 Ti, but C-Play, the 1080 Ti is an absolute beast of a graphic card, even all those years later, right? My 1080 Ti definitely outperforms the 2050, I reckon. So one of the best bangs for a buck you got back in the days for your graphic card. Okay, I'm level 11. After we clear this, you know what we're gonna get, Chan? We're gonna get ourselves our beautiful Herald of Ice. And then we're gonna freeze things, and then we're shatter things, and then we freeze things, then we shatter things. Is this broke to hero build? Yes, sir. We are going with an investment of 1 single Exalted Orb. Yes, a 1 single Exalted Orb broke the game with the Rampart Raptor. To just see how far, how much, how broken can this be until we reach, obviously, the end game, where we can break the game even harder. Now, I wanted to do this on solo self-found. The problem is, for a certain build I wish to do, you need the Rampart Raptor, and you cannot guarantee that you get it in solo self-found, right? So we needed to do this on our difficulty here. Okay, we got another 15% stun build up. Actually, let's go for 10%, and then we're gonna like reset this down here to the 40. We don't need the stun build up, but we need the 40% damage, because to have or not to have, right? Ray tracing? I mean, it's not like we actually have ray tracing fully activated, all that kind of stuff, right? All the fancy features that make games look better, mostly they do turn them off to get better FPS. Let's be real, right? All the funny stuff NVIDIA invented to make games look more beautiful, and on every new game release, it's like, so we're gonna turn all of this off before it tanks our FPS. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Oh, global illumination, RTX, ray tracing. Let's turn it all off. Thank you. All the fancy buzzwords for, what was it called again? On brain saying. Cyberpunk, right? Just to reach the point where you're like, damn. Let's turn that all off to be able to actually play the game. Let's wait for Jansen to get a new jacket. Absolutely. I mean, NVIDIA definitely learned how to use all the buzzwords to get a, what was $1 trillion valuation, no problem. Hey, my stock portfolio says thank you. I don't have that much NVIDIA, but it's still up, right? I'm not saying no to that free money. Okay, where's the king of the mist? Like seriously, where did they put him this time? Really? At the start? Oh, I'll be surprised.
These halfwits seek to summon something better left.
Okay, let's see how the Herald of Ice is going to do for us, Chan. It's gonna be beautiful. We have the Herald exposure. We could probably go for Herald with bonus. What's it called again? Bonus area, so on. Is Huntress Lightning Spear still ridiculously OP? No, not ridiculously OP, but it still works extremely well. We actually did a Lightning Spear bleed build, and it turned into a Lightning Spear bleed poison build, which was ridiculously OP. Hey, sir. That's in. Come on out. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get ourselves the Herald of Ice. And we need 13 int for that because we don't have 13 int.
Summit tells me we've not seen the last of him.
See what we get for me. Anything useful? Actually, really disappointing. Get there. We're going to stick with the same crossbow or upgrade, but stick with the same unique. So, Christopher, we are going to keep the Rampart Raptor all the way to the end game. So we're not planning to actually ever change the Rampart Raptor away. However, we will have to add a bonus crossbow to the equation. Because as good as the Rampart Raptor is, it is like we later need the high velocity rounds. They currently do with the Rampart Raptor 124 damage. Okay? But we obviously want the high velocity rounds to do as much damage as possible. And at some point, new crossbows will actually outscale what the Rampart Raptor can do, right? So that doesn't come as a surprise, right? It just makes only sense that you would reach the point where it just gets outscaled.
What would you like?
And that's something to look out for because that's where we're then have to get a really good crossbow and have our high velocity rounds go nuts. See, like this is 127 damage with this crossbow, so we're still at 149, but we're slowly getting to the point where, right, the new crossbows will outshine the Rampant Raptor. It's not going to be long anymore. Be really quick, rather.
If you find a find out there.
Okay, we are currently level 11. I need... what was it? I need intelligence. So we need to refund passive, change this over to intelligence, that I can then actually use the...
How can I?
Oh, I rethink my approach.
And apply the... Oh... Wait, I need even more. Jesus, how stupid am I?
If at first you don't succeed,
Chat.
I'll try not to cock
Okay.
it up a second
There
time.
needs to be more strength. How stupid am I? What level 1 supports could we use for our friend here? By the way, as you notice, the game is now running perfectly fine, right? So make it make sense. Chan? What are you going to do at the point that falls off? We'll show you. Don't worry. Can we do magnified effect for the YOLOs? We can probably do magnified effect for the YOLOs. Right? And you could do... Back to the hunter ground. And we're going to teleport over to this. Now you pretty much have the Herald of Eyes activated. So if we go around and we now bop, shoot things, and we freeze them, then we shatter them, and then we do even more damage to everyone. So you've noticed that we've already been clearing quite sufficiently fine, right? And now... Especially the tighter packed they are, the better it will go. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? That is blocked off, so we're gonna go over the left side. Ah, here. This is what we're looking for. Right? So, how packed can it get, Chan? How much can the Herald of Eyes help us here? It was already mean before, right? But I feel like we put another mean on the tippity top of it. More damage, thank you very much.
Una will thank me for this, no doubt.
I haven't experimented at all yet with skills from other classes. Yeah, that's where really Path of Exile starts to shine, right? Obviously, you can make a build like when you play Mercenary that you don't use anything but your mercenary skills, right? You're going to be using grenades, and then you use some more grenades, and then you use some more grenades, and you actually never worry about anything else, right? You just want to be your little mercenary self. The real fun though starts when you kind of like see, okay, what do the other weapons have to offer that actually starts boosting what we're doing, right? When the crazy builds come together. And some of them are not even that crazy, or when you play a witch and she uses spears and that kind of stuff, right? This is where it then goes different. Wonder if I just want to get like the maximum damage from this little thingy, probably, right? F-Word, thank you for the Prime subscription. F-Word, good to see you there, partner. Thank you very much. Okay, here my performance is gonzo again after it was perfect, right? So the performance was great for all the time being, and now what happened? Right? Where did it go again? Well, the only assumption is that he's loading some shaders that are either faulty and or he's just busy loading shaders and that's actually causing him to go weird. But this is like plenty weird, right? Doesn't even make much sense anymore. Not like the area is graphically more demanding or anything. Wah, Gotta bring the Luta back. I still think it should be pronounced lout and not loot. This is a crossbow frost build. This is a crossbow build that is using the frostburst rounds for the time being, Grandpa Gaming. So we got the permafrost bolts, and we're pretty much just holding down the button and pop away.
The village has been. We must go.
And in the meantime, we're just boosting projectile damage to have it do as much as possible, right? Thing is, like, we are currently sitting at 24 damage per round, but you also shoot at 10 rounds. So it is like 24 damage, but it's like 24 damage times 10. Which is kind of like deceiving when you look at the 24 damage here and you're like, isn't high velocity rounds much better? Doesn't it do much more damage? No, it doesn't. It's missing the times 10 component, right? Is there a way to use Huntress lightning skill voltaic grenades and crossbow to make an absolute insane lightning Huntress merc hybrid? It's possible, but it's unnecessary. That's the point, right? Sure, you can do it, but it wouldn't actually make your build better to mix all of these. Right? You would just be mixing them for the sake of mixing them, but not because it actually makes it better.
You had your chance to kill me. Now it's my
Boop,
turn.
boop, 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 boop. See, now that the other guys are coming here, we're gonna get all the explosions from, oops. We're gonna get all the explosions from Herald of Ice, right? So if we actually let them all, like, gather up around him, we could get, like, Herald, right?
Stop. Just wait. Surely we can.
No escape. Not this time.
I never noticed how the crossbow...
You had your chance.
See, like, my attention to detail is limited, Sean. But I never noticed when you're actually using permafrost rounds and you have them loaded, your crossbow at the tip is showing, like, the frost. Right? Because it is. Never paid attention. Right? Interesting. Is it if I load? That's because of the Herald of Ice, right? Yeah, no. It's because of the Herald of Ice. Yeah. I never paid so much attention. Wow, I'm getting old, Chan. I'm actually getting old. See, that's when people keep telling me, Pony, did you know that in GTA 3, the stripper pole, they're going to have fingerprints on it? And I'm like, wow. That's totally what I would be looking for in that situation. Right? What time do you start streaming? We usually start at 8 a.m. CT. That's your 7 a.m. But recently, we obviously haven't gotten to start at that time due to outside factors and or games just being laggy for no reason, right? Do you have a level guide for this build? So far, not, sir. That's why we're doing the stream today, tomorrow, and probably the day after tomorrow. This is going to be a very funny 0 to hero run where we're going to be blasting through everything, bringing ourselves like through all the acts, and we're going to see how wide and far the build carries itself. Especially, like, I know already how it's going to be in the end game. So that's the thing. I've already tried this build on my other mercenaries in the end game. I know how it works. I know that it will work, what I'm planning. However, the issue is that I needed to figure out how well it will level, right? What you would need is the Rampart Raptor. And the thing is, that thing costs you only 1 Exalted Orb. Right? That's a 1 Exalted Orb investment. Does this look weird? Yes, it does. Don't ask questions. Okay, what other damage could we be taking that is close by? I mean, technically, this is the biggest damage that is close by. However, I don't really want to go for that. What other projectile attack, something, jiggy-majiggy, that's speed, area of effect we have here. We technically could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have even more projectile damage. This is useless because that is just melee damage. But going over here is not a thing. I kind of want to get this attack damage. Like, all the further damage nodes are just so far away. If I go through this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we could actually pick up the attack speed, and we could also pick up the attack damage here, which might actually be the best feasible outcome right now. Do you function this early in the morning? Well, I wake up at 3 a.m., and then we are awake from 3 a.m. onwards. Okay, the rest of my day will definitely be spent, like, just trying to make Path of Exile just always run smooth. I think there's a way to work with shaders on AMD, because, like, so with NVIDIA, you can just go into the NVIDIA tool, right? NVIDIA driver tool, and you can make your shaders better. Where you can make your shader cache bigger. Whereas for AMD, you can't actually do that. You have to change your rec entry for your shader cache to be a bit bigger than you want it to be. That could potentially work for what we're doing here. Probably the solution for things right now. So, most important thing to get is tier 2 support gems, and I think you're getting them. When do we get tier 2 again? Do we have to wait until... No, in Act 2 we actually get tier 2 support gems, right? In a while. Did we not get them in Act 2? Sure. We're level 14. If we reach level 15, we're actually able to change our glyphs. Because right now we're using the lowest ones, right? With level 15, you can put on the bigger ones. What are we thinking so far, guys? Good level experience? Oh my goodness. He had periodic invulnerability aura. Help them to not die. Meanie beanie. What I enjoy the most is the distance at which, like, we can freeze with this, right? Like, I always thought that the rounds they wouldn't freeze that much, right? Now I'm gonna stand here. And you just have like a nasty distance going on. Hog Raiders is awesome, Harry. I liked it, but not enough to want to cover it continuously. It would have been smart from a financial standpoint, though, instead of making Path of Exile videos, right? However, we can't just function because of financial reasons, right? After playing POE 2 for 400 hours, it's hard coming back to 1. Honestly, it was really nice to come back to 1 because 1 has a lot of quality of life shenanigans happening. Especially the new Breach League is truly extraordinary. Like, I don't know how to say this otherwise, but damn son, they absolutely killed it, Breach League-wise. So it's actually going to feel very bad to play the Breach now in Path of Exile 2. Because the one breach is better. And far and wide better, not just like a little bit better. Okay. What I found funny is that Candlemas is a Sanctum boss in Path of Exile 1. See, since I never played much Path of Exile 1, this is all new for me, right? Oh, I'm going to get forced, right? Freeze it! I don't want to run! What do you guys break the game I'm on? We're currently playing the Rampart Raptor, which makes Act 1 an absolute joke. As you can see. What's so special about this build? The specialty will come with these rounds, Harry. So we're going to be using the new feature that was actually introduced with this league that wasn't there before. And it's called Riven Armor. And the high velocity rounds, they apply it on breaking armor. Now what happens is when they break armor is actually, and we're gonna show you on Count Geonor because I want you to witness it. So Riven Armor is a bit complicated. But you have to imagine it following. All the damage that this does when it breaks armor gets saved up on the enemy. So if you do a really high damage hit, that gets saved into Riven Armor. And if I then do this and I shoot 10 fragments, then I'm going to 10 times per hit trigger Riven Armor. So if the damage hit of the high velocity rounds was very high, then you're gonna re-trigger it over and over and over again. So you pretty much put a dot on it that just does banger damage. That's the best way to see it. And we're cheesing it by shotgunning into it. Now it sounds more complicated than it is, at least when you're explaining it without showing it. But once you see how it works, it actually all makes sense, right? And you gotta like imagine that right now we're not using weapon swap points and everything, right? But you gotta imagine that we're gonna go for maximum attack speed on the fragmentation round, right? And these are going to like go out like pop, 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 pop as quick as possible. Because you actually don't have to look at the damage your fragmentation rounds do, right? At some point. Since all the damage is going to come from the high velocity hit into the Riven Armor. That's going to be all the damage. Like you can do 0 damage with the other shots. Okay? Level 5 gem. What are we getting here? Oh, rapid shock, galvanic shards, gas grenade. I mean, we could use the gas grenade to break armor. Right? Which is actually sad because, again, you can't do this in Act 1 anymore, right? You can't use the gas grenades to break armor. What we could use is you could add the flash grenade to this to just have like a group clear happening. But we're gonna level up the permafrost bolts for the time being. Go to Renly. We're gonna sell all our stuff. Buy ourselves a new. What do you got? Helmet, shield. Same thing. I'm always checking like if we have more damage because again, like more damage is king, right? Nothing meaningful.
Yes, I like to hold on to bits and pieces.
No, we already have that. Sorry. Level 4, nothing to upgrade. So what we're gonna have to take now for the time being, so I can show it to you, is our friend the. So we need step number 1. We need break. So we got here armor break armor equal to physical damage dealt by the supporting skill, right? So you break armor with this skill, fragmentation for high velocity rounds, and then you also obviously in this case break more armor. Break. So you can armor demolisher. So make sure to really break armor.
I've heard enough of the beast to know feeding it's a fool's game.
And I can show you. If we now shoot at these dudes, he doesn't actually break a single point of armor right now. Why not? You're mostly doing physical damage. You should be breaking armor. But he didn't break armor on the tiny guys. Well, let's see if he does it on Geonor. So we're gonna break not a single point of armor on him right now, whatever that is. Ashraf, thank you for gifting Shani a subscription. Ashraf, how are you doing? Thank you for gifting more than one. Oh, sorry, we're done. Why are you not breaking armor right now? What am I missing? You're supposed to break armor. Ashraf, thank you for the 20. It's 20, 50, gifted. You mad lamb. Did I forget to refill my potions? I did, right?
Killing for us.
Well, it doesn't change here our fight. Are we shooting chat? Ah, we're shooting the sky. Don't worry.
As night falls, winter's chill. Thought we are worthy.
I'm really bad at dodging Geonor.
May wither and tarry. Forsaken forests,
Honestly, I'm just really bad at it.
as cold as death.
But I shouldn't be, right?
Baleless misery. The pack won't form yet. I smell your blood.
Silly. Silly.
Allow me to clear your mind, if only for a moment.
They made Endgame and Towers pointless. Yeah, I'm gonna be like looking forward to that because I haven't tried around with it so far.
Oriana
Right?
used it against me. Where has she taken the beast? I found messages from the desert.
You should be breaking armor.
Yes. Find her. Kill her. But first, please, stop the madness. As you wish.
That's
We must make
Alright.
haste. Let us return to Clearfell to make our
we forget to upgrade our thingy, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a second. So one thing that we forget to do is
Count, we can go well.
You be good, be careful.
we forget to socket of bolts. Because if we go for cold damage, like from level 10 on, you can change these, right? And you can put on the higher ones. And that's obviously from 3 to 5 to 6 to 10. That's quite significant. I mean, we're just boosting that with a awesome vault, right?
Thank you.
What have we got? Anything take your fancy?
Hmm. Let's actually add these to the frame. Because we can just use armor-piercing rounds. Right? And we can just break armor with these as well. Because then we could use the armor-piercing rounds. Together with the high-velocity getting brutality. Right? And what other damage booster do we have for the... The velocity would be... Considering we're only using them every AX, I wonder if I could do that for the YOLOs. Yeah. Brutality away. It seems a bit weird here right now, but I just want to know something. Forget brutality. Because a lot of this is damage. I don't really have anything other damage gaining at that point, right? Meaningful. We could do elemental armament to obviously boost it further.
How can I quickly?
Okay, we need to test this out against, how's the man called again? The hyena dude? Right?
Well, my lady, we have arrived. The Bastille awaits.
This out go.
So this is the Visteri.
Lazarka? So if we break armor on you, then shoot you, we apply Riven armor. Yeah. Why do we have the Riven armor with the hourglass? Because again, it doesn't matter. Like, we only need to literally shoot it one time every 10 seconds to just apply the Riven armor. And that's gonna be enough on the boss, at least for the time being, right? Not more needed. They should bring classes, items, and stuff instead of endgame content. They need everything. Sir. I mean, we're not even the first year of the early access. It is early access, right? We all want to see Path of Exile 2 to be fully released. However, it is early access, right? They could have also not released early access and just had us wait. But I gotta say, I prefer that we actually get the early access, right? Because I would have been extremely sad not having Path of Exile 2 on the menu. Imagine we hadn't gotten that last year. Jesus Christ. I would have been definitely missing out on everything. Sad. No, September? I don't remember if we released in September or November. Like, I don't have it like top of my tongue right now. Right? Wasn't it November release? But yeah, we're roughly on the 1 year schedule, right? I mean, obviously, like, as the game went into early access and they said that they're planning to be a year long in early access, you already noticed that that's not happening, right? Like, that's pretty optimistic. A year? Like, we all know that's not happening. I mean, we definitely do need a new class, yes, so the druid should come, but we also need the other ascendancies because, you know, as much as a new class would be interesting, what's with the ascendancies for the existing classes? And not only the ascendancies for the existing classes, we need the other skills to actually make the ascendancies work, because again, we have the Smith of Kitava, and the Smith of Kitava doesn't work. Because everything that makes the Smith of Kitava great, aka Fire Spell on hit, doesn't work. Because we don't have Fire Spell on hit. Right? There are no fire spells. We need to buff Warrior. Warrior is insane. Warrior is one of the strongest this season around. Sir, are you sir? Okay, so let's kill these guys here. Then we're loading our armor breaking rounds, okay? He comes, we break armor. Then we load our bolt here to give him Riven armor. And now you shoot into that Riven armor and it mitigates a lot of damage. So break armor again, you give him Riven armor, and then you shoot into the Riven armor. And the more damage that Riven armor does, the bigger or the better the fragmentation rounds are going to do, like, bonus damage, right? Works very well. Obviously only necessary for bosses. For normal enemies, we don't need this. I wonder if fragmentation shots would actually do more damage. Because fragmentation does 26 of attack. This is 24 of attack. So fragmentation does actually do more damage. Interesting. It looks funny to have all these different skills, right? Corrosive on gas grenade will break armor. Yes, but you wouldn't have corrosive at this point because tier 2 gem, right? So that's not happening yet. I just wonder how useful the Riven armor strategy is during leveling. I know it's insane for endgame, right? But how useful is it during leveling? Big question. Still need a very good crossbow here. This one should now out damage, right? Let's actually check. So we are currently sitting at 351 damage for 361 for high velocity, right? If I swap over to my other crossbow, it's 241. So if I now take this one, we're actually sitting at more. See, 388. So at this point, this is the magical point where now the high velocity rounds need to be crossbow number 2, right? Don't need to be crossbow number 1. The same goes for the armor piercing rounds. They also need to be crossbow number 2. Actually, no, the armor piercing rounds need to be crossbow number 1 still.
Who goes there? No need to rush. As you wish.
Finery.
Sands guide you.
I thought you said the league is done, QB. Well, we wanted to try something out. But here we are. Oh, my wife sent me a message. Second, I need to this. like how the bow lets you keep firing. Troy. Yes. Yes. Me too. That's the real reason why we're doing this, right? Because playing a crossbow is fun, but either you're going to be using grenades or you're going to be or you end up not using the crossbow for shooting because it gets so annoying to like go for the bop 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 bop. However, we don't want that, right? We want it to be feeling smooth and fantastic and good, and it should be an absolute pristine experience. So obviously, we are working on how do we get to the point that the reloading just doesn't feel like reloading, right? And so far, it's working very fine.
Mining like this, it can only mean war's coming.
Can you start trading for better items now since your other character already have unlocked it? What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I could just use the async trade. But it's not like that is needed anyway. Right? When we're noticing how the bow is slowly like losing some of its offensive power, that's for sure. Which can be fixed by just getting more projectile damage shenanigans, right? And it's still more than good enough to just clear anything out of the way, right? Like you could get yourself now, for example, like gloves that already have plus 10 bonus damage and rings that have plus 10 bonus damage, that kind of stuff, right? It would make a big difference. But we're not feeling the need for that yet. It'd be fun if they added fishing. I mean, you could add fishing to your hideout, I guess. Worst case scenario, right? Our fishing nerds out there that for some reason want to have fishing in every game. Same with any kind of RPG game, right? Doesn't have fishing. What are we even doing here? And different hideouts for campaign camps had different fishies in the water. What do you want to do with those fishies then? Skins? I remember when Hearthstone was a great game. You played a lot. Yes, sir. 10,000s of hours of Hearthstone. And then a little bit more 10,000 hours of the game. And then a little bit more. And even more. And more. Interesting times. Just wait for Slay the Spire 2 and me to absolutely descend into a hole of madness. Because Slay the Spire 2 is definitely going to do that to me. We're then going to just non-stop play that game. Why will you not let me reload? Doesn't let me reload into my high velocity rounds right now. He's super bugged there. I thought they fixed that bug. Like, it's reloading the other crossbow, but he doesn't let me shoot it right now. Oh, level 5 spirit gem. Nice. Fix that. Usually you have to equip the bow. I'm pretty sure the thingy I put in there actually kind of breaks it. Right? Okay. And we're gonna have like a different button for this. The time being.
This is no mine. It's a death trap.
I wonder if I could use the high velocity rounds for clearing purposes. Okay, now let's get more damage. So 10% increased attack damage. And then we're gonna go for... In the boss fight, it's again, break the armor. After the armor breaking, apply Riven armor. Good thing is the bullet is already preloaded, right? But we know that that's just going to fly out as soon as I need it to fly out. And then we go back to our actual thingy. Last Lemon try, but Last Lemon is a endgame bow, if I'm not mistaken. If we're thinking about the same bow, right? And Last Lemon, the life leech bow that uses your life, if I remember correctly. Okay, bring him. Figure these out. Fuck. Yeah, it's the one that lets you keep firing, but that's obviously way too late game, right? You get that Frost Nexus, Freeze, no, Arbiter. I mean, you could definitely make it go like full cold, but I think that's unnecessary. Arbiter is cute though. Of POE 1 and 2, which one do you enjoy more? POE 2. But that's pretty much because I just have more experience with POE 2 as well. It's just simply, for me, the better running game. Okay, so against her, step number 1. Again, go for the armor piercing rounds, right? Then we're going to shoot her, break armor. Now that we've broken armor, we're going to Riven armor her, and then... here with that. I need definitely armor breaking duration, right? That's what I feel right now. Because sadly we can apply the armor break, right? And we can do this. I guess it might even be better to actually keep shooting the armor piercing rounds afterwards, because like it takes too long to go back into that, at least for the leveling portion. right? Flash grenades are great for this boss. Yeah, but it's not like we need them, right?
Who goes there? My way.
It's not like we need them.
Who goes there? As you wish.
Better crossbow. Not a better crossbow. Pony Sahat. I mean, seriously. Don't get a better crossbow. Oh, sad. Armor Frost. We got the level 2. Armor Piercing. Spirit Gem, but we cannot. We can level up Herald of Ice. We got a level 2. Armor Piercing rounds get break more armor. Armor Piercing rounds are doing of base. So optimally, we would want to have Armor Piercing rounds also do more damage. Right? Interesting that that would be less damage on number 2 than number 1.
Young lad, here we are.
I assume they're just maximum damage over there.
Your tale.
Can you scale the armor break shots? I mean, like you just need to break more armor, right? So for the armor break shots, they just need to break armor as quick as possible. Again, the main thing that you need is your high velocity rounds, right? That shot, that high velocity shot, just needs to be as much damage as possible, right? That's the real deal super damage whooper flooper. Thing is, Riven armor lasts for what is it?
Some shade. I'm sweating like a stuck pig, I am.
Here, if you go for this, it says apply Riven armor, right? And Riven armor says Riven armor's a debuff, and it lasts for enemies with Riven armor cannot get their armor broken further. Yeah, and it lasts for the duration of the armor break, if I'm not mistaken, right? As soon as the armor break is gone, the Riven armor is gone. So the longer the armor break is, the better it is. So we pretty much need to like increase the armor break duration. And I know there's a couple of notes for that, right? Like increase the effect of broken armor, the duration of broken armor. I don't know if we have like any notes in the beginning. Is there break? We have back here, so this is like increase break, increased armor. This was gain increased broken armor. This is increased critical strike damage bonus. We get here increase hits break, increased armor targets with ailments, which is interesting. Back here would be break armor. Isn't there armor break duration as well, right? Yeah, here irreparable would be increased armor break duration. It's gonna be faster when the so when the armor piercing rounds are also in number 2, because that makes a big difference. Because if the armor piercing rounds are in number 2, then when we shoot the other crossbow, it's already preloaded with fire stuff, with frost stuff. You know, makes a big difference. That's when we have to like swap away from those. Massive skill tree? Nah, it just seems big. It's quite average size skill tree. It might actually be more on the tinier side, to be honest. C-Play, thank you for gifting us sub away, C-Play. That's very kind of you. Appreciate it. I wonder if we want to add the grenade just for bonus to this, because the grenade would be blind. But it would just be more buttons to press for the sake of not really much more damage. So don't see where that would make sense.
Who are these lasses then? They have an air of importance.
Okay, we need you, Balbala, now to test something. On the Netherlands Christmas shopping yesterday, the lady brought home some shenanigans. Nothing too crazy. The budget wasn't out-budgeted. I guess we got away good. When we have most everything for Christmas, I'm like, over the years you accumulate, right? When it comes down to decoration, there is not infinite decoration. You just have to rotate at some point. You have all the solutions for everything. Okay, Balbala. Oh, there's the letters on the walls, ladies and gentlemen. Found her. Okay.
There's something odd about this door. Feels like it were meant to stay shut.
So... Oh, sorry, we had to free Balbala.
Now, Jindak, I prove myself.
Armor broken.
Kundek.
Armor. Now that's you notice the bonus damage from this. I mean, you don't actually need to do it because you're also doing plenty enough damage with the frost rounds, right? I just wanted to know how much more damage we would deal if I apply the ribbon. You know, if we do the armor break. I'm going warrior on new playthrough and I went crossbow as well. Is it worth going for double crossbow and going one for grenades and one for bolts? Yes, sir. You can pretty much play an explosive shot. An actual explosive shot. Crossbow player. And that explosive shot is what you use for clearing, more or less. And then you swap over to the grenades for bossing. That's how I played my last Grenadier. So it was pretty much explosive shot when you're going through maps, just like explosive shot, roll, reload, explosive shot, right? That kind of stuff. Really cool, really fun. And then versus bosses, it was just spam them with grenade and all of them would just die. Right? Everything that doesn't have a shield just dies instant. Everything that has a shield is annoying. Unless I just walk into them, I guess. Oh yes, if you go for a crossbow, you definitely want to use your weapon swap points to empower the grenades and the crossbow at the same time. Best of both worlds, and it works really good. Oh, what do we get here, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, what do you got for me? Increased movement speed, armor, maximum life, chance to be afflicted by elements when hit. Increased movement speed while afflicted by an element. There we go. Move faster. At times. Okay, I could take the increased elemental damage with attacks, which would actually boost our cross rounds for the time being. But enough of the PoE 1 League. No, we just pretty much finished our build, and we were going to do one build for the PoE 1 League. So here we are now trying something out in PoE 2. Because I really wanted to. No? I like trying out things. Well, that's a lot of crossbows. I mean, seriously. One should be with us. That's going to be super useful. There's another crossbow. Cool. Let's just drop everything. And there's another crossbow. Jesus. Okay, I actually need to teleport back and check if one of them turns out to be better than what we have.
If you the type so warm nights. No need to rush.
Okay, that's 48 damage. Technically with a double, almost better. That is elemental damage. That is 46. No, none of this is actually better. Surprised at how decent that one crossbow is. That's 2 to 35. I wonder how much damage that would lead for the... Interesting.
Onwards.
A lot of superior stuff. I started with 2 crossbows back in season 1, but the days I just used 1 rather. Well, so they changed. In case you started in season 1, it was changed. There is no weapon swap delay anymore. So the game used to have weapon swap delay, but that made weapon swapping feel awkward. Because why would you want to have weapon swap delay, right? And since that weapon swap delay change, it's actually almost stupid to not utilize your weapon swap points and or multiple weapons, right? Because it's instantious. You want to use a different skill, you can just do that. No matter what build you're playing, right? So that delay being gone was probably the single-handed best thing they have done to Path of Exile 2. Because the whole weapon swap mechanic, right, felt okay. But the delay just made it awkward. Because why would you want to feel like even this millisecond of That's like realism no one needs. I don't need to feel the weapon swap, right? I need it to happen. Otherwise, I'm just getting weaker swapping weapons, right? Another level 6. That's for my armor piercing round. Okay, Jamanra. Broken armor. Yeah, the bonus damage is crazy. Break armor again. Break armor. A bit fiddly around at this point, right? For not the crazy outcome. The thing is, if you have to do it multiple times, it feels awkward. If you have to do it one time because it just destroys the boss, it's going to feel good. I think we're probably going to rely on grenades to break armor because it's a bit too awkward to break armor with the rounds. Right? So I feel what you're saying. I think like breaking armor with the armor piercing rounds just feels too awkward. So rather like break the armor with the gas grenades. Should probably feel better. Armor break explosion. Well, you don't want the armor break to explode, so you need the armor break on the enemy. That's important, right? Without that, it's weird. Camhide, thank you for your support. Camhide, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the membership over on the YouTube.
I hear you. Browse as long as you like. I'll unburden you. Sands guide you. Who goes there?
None of this is like better than... Unless this one here with a double would turn out to bring like... Wow, that's insane. Aha! More damage. Beautiful.
I'll unburden you. Take care.
We didn't speak.
Okay, level 7 gem. Is there anything level 7 wise we want? No. So what you're saying is we would like to gems. Like to take a tier 5 gem. 6, it doesn't matter. I would like to take gas grenade. Gas grenade needs to get break more armor and break armor, right? So that we just poop the gas grenade out and we're good to go.
Ah, yes. Fight to the last.
Let's try that out. 7 waters. So the advantage with the grenade is that we don't have to like juggle our reloads that much because we have one crossbow then reloaded with the one crossbow reloaded with the these shots, right? And the other crossbow instantly reloaded with the frost. Makes for a bit smoother gameplay loop. So you could do this. I wonder how fast is this breaking armor? I'm not breaking armor at all right now. I'm used to them instantly breaking armor. Gas arrow is useless this league. No. There was some nasty gas arrow build. Okay, sadly, the gas arrow is not breaking enough armor to work. Right? Oh, the gas grenade is not breaking enough armor to work. Wonder if we need multi-shot to actually make that work. And armor break support. We have armor break support. Just literally not enough. And it doesn't help that we obviously haven't skilled into like multiple projectiles and everything, because usually when you have the grenades, right, you would now have a bonus projectile already. That way you get like triple projectiles up and running. Game, this is Path of Exile 2, sir. Let's just start the fight here for a second, but we're probably going to restart the fight in a jiffy. Okay, when I do this now. You would expect it to break armor very quick, but it doesn't. Have to still use the Oh, oh, look at the damage. Oh my lord. Where did that damage come now from? That was because the, that was because the high velocity rounds actually hit big there. Right? That was where a lot of that damage came from. It hit big in that case. We could do increase physical attack damage. I know that physical attack damage bonus will also increase the damage of our permafrost rounds, but it's going to be like a minimal increase here, so it's not actually worth it. Bonus gain from quiver attack speed would be nifty. Actually, attack speed in this case would be great. On the other hand, I want to have more elemental damage with attacks. I want to make my way towards this attack damage probably, because it would also be movement speed. Okay, so what we need is we need to ascend to a Huntress #1. But what I wonder is if Huntress #1 actually makes us much stronger. Right? Usually you're hoping that your first ascension is going to give you a meaningful boost. And if we were a... mercenary, not really. Right? The tactician wouldn't really make us that stronger. Punish the abyss! Punish the abyss! Punish the abyss! Did we, I want to say, did we summon one of these? Good. Need to find a better support than Hourglass support on this one. It was like the Hourglass support was the strongest we could find on it for 30% more damage. But I wonder if there's a better that we could. I almost told you to stop playing Diablo Immortal, not realizing this is Path of Exile 2. Sir, if this was how Diablo Immortal did look as a mobile game, then you should tell me to keep playing Diablo Immortal and please play even more of that. Ryan? That would be a very good sales point for Diablo Immortal. Like, sir, could you please play more of that? It looks pretty damn amazing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Easy. At what point but grenades become viable? From level 1 on? I mean, most of my ranger playthroughs have been grenade playthroughs. Mercenary playthroughs. They all have been grenade playthroughs. Once you know how to play them, they're just instantly viable. This is not a grenade playthrough though. Right? The new Cyberpunk ARPG in development. Yep, doesn't look interesting at all. There is one sci-fi-esque ARPG. Or ARPG. There's not a single sci-fi-esque ARPG that I think looks interesting. They all fail to capture good gameplay loop. It's often just like, oh, so this is an ARPG, but it's sci-fi now. Right? But it's not like we made something truly outstanding that's trying to do something new. More or less like, oh, so we got Diablo at home, but it has guns. You know, it's when people take Souls games and they're like, oh, we made a Souls shooter game. Actually, there was a success at that. So there were 2 or 3 Souls shooter games that somewhat worked, but they also weren't extraordinary. It was more like they work, yes. When did the grenades become viable for armor break? I don't think at all, unless you're heavily, and I mean really heavily investing into them.
Who goes there? My ware. I shall put this to use.
And that investment you're not going to do. Okay, permafrost bolts. Let's keep permafrost bolting, right? And so far, so good. Everything is working as we intended it to, right? Level 2 feels pretty dated these days. Hey, blasphemy, sir. There are people in the internet who would string you up for that statement. I mean, I fully agree, don't get me wrong. A shooter Dark Souls sounds fucking horrible. We actually played one a few years back. Oh, I forget its name. And it was kind of fun and well executed. The boss fights were interesting. You pretty much had a bunch of weak points that you were shooting, right? So every boss had like a weak point and you had to like shoot that. So it was more like a Souls-esque, but not with the difficulty that Souls has to offer, because obviously in a shooter game you then have to give us said weak point, right, to make it even possible that you feel like you're doing something, and then it kind of makes it a bit trivial again if I already know, like, oh, boss has a weak point, right? So I'll just shoot that weak point. Ha ha ha. It wasn't bad per se, but it wasn't also like, no, innovative as hell. I think the best shooter Souls you kind of have is end of the day Refinement from the Ashes, right? Even though Refinement is like, it's shooter Souls slash looter shooter slash I don't even know what you would call it, you know? Okay, we figured out that the game lacks in a new zone until it doesn't lack in a new zone anymore. So it must be something with the shaders on entering a new zone, right? Because like right now, correct, everything is smooth as butter again. But every single time we load into a new zone, there's some shader shenanigans happening that I can't put my finger on.
He holds a new loyalty now.
I was more.
My king nears.
Armor broken. See that damage, chat? It was from the Riven armor. So again, we're gonna load the armor breaking bolts, okay? Then we're gonna break his armor. Then we're gonna load the Riven armor shot, and then we're gonna frost shoot him. And now we just need to have the high velocity rounds do some ultra crits to make the whole process be ultra worth it. Outriders get treated unfairly. Well, Outriders was great for one single playthrough, right? And that's it. Like, people were obviously hoping for more in terms of being able to play the game more than once and not just once and done, right? Because that's where Outriders get torched, right? That's where people were super unhappy with it, because that once and done wasn't just what resonated with people. Where's my phone not making noises?
I hear you. Take your time. I'll unburden you.
46. No.
Sands guide you. It was a
Support gem. Is there a support gem level 2 for my high velocity rounds? That's double barrel, armor conversation, long shot. Oh, I mean, that's 25 for enemies further away. Is there any other scaling? It's like really hard to find like decent scaling for that. Makes any sense. Brutality is obviously not good. Yeah, I guess long shot might be the only one that really makes sense if I don't want to use. Right? Okay, we can ascend now. Let's go and do ascend. Usually it's like super easy as a ascending as a merc can be easier.
who goes there?
You just have people under control, right and center. Let's see, attack speed. I would like to have more damage on something, right? No more damage. Sad face. Armor conservation. No, armor conservation is useless for the... Because we only need one shot of high velocity rounds. So you don't actually want to have more shots of high velocity rounds, right? You just need high velocity rounds to apply Riven armor, and that's it. As soon as Riven armor is applied...
As many bones
wait,
here
why
as
am I in the Mastodon Badlands? I was trying to go for the Trouts of Sakamas. Rolled wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, my evening will be trying to make Path of Exile run super smooth, right? Goodness Christ. Already not looking forward to that, Chad. I mean, at times it's running smooth, at times it's not running smooth. We've been having like a mixed bag of feelings today. I wish I could use all of you beautiful relics.
I will serve.
Use something with a railgun instead of high velocity for armor breaking. No. So the high velocity is not what's breaking the armor. The high velocity is there to apply the Riven armor. Okay? That's what the high velocity does. We use the armor piercing rounds right now because that's the easiest way of armor break that we have.
Time to spill a bit of blood.
So again, you need broken armor, right? That then gets a super mega shot from the high velocity rounds to apply Riven armor. And that super mega shot from the high velocity rounds that applies Riven armor is then going to store that pre-mitigated damage that you're then going like super nuts on things. Right? That's how the whole process pretty much works. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Level are you at the moment? 22. 22 is the level you always ascend, right? I'm not sure how you feel, but 22 is how you ascend. At least how I'm vibing with this. That was now if we're not having them stored, right? If you don't have the hourglass. Just do like unreliable damage. Sometimes a lot, sometimes not a lot. Pull that one out so we can go here for the damage. Okay, we're still doing 43 times 10, which is actually good, 430. Not a single point of honor damage was taken. How's the grind going? I mean, we're having fun. Like we're using a unique weapon that costs one single exalted to pretty much blast through the campaign, which I think people always like these kind of things when we do them, right? Because it just makes life more fun, especially so deep into the season. We don't have to pretend that we're solo self-finding everything, right? Just spam one exalted, get yourself something. However, the reason we're using that weapon is mainly because it's absolutely broken in the end game. So we're actually not using that weapon because it's making leveling so much easier, which it does, right? It's actually that you can do something really funny with this in the end game. We do need vastly more attack speed for that, though. What's this? This she saw Pass of Exile 2. How did you not nuff, good sir? Poor guy, get absolutely demolished.
Ritual has been disrupted.
Huntress 2, what build would you recommend looking into? Well, this is what we're doing, Luna City. If you can wait a little bit, if you can just wait a little bit longer, tomorrow you'll already be able to see how well the build does, because we can obviously don't have the time to finish everything today. We're just going to get the early leveling out of our way today, and tomorrow, day 2, we're going to push it further, right? But I can actually show you what the build is capable of, because I know what the build can do in the end game, right? I've tested it, but I needed to figure out how do we want to level towards that build, right? And obviously, if you want to use something in the end game, it's always fun if you can use it for leveling as well, right?
Impressive endurance.
Bloodmage Spark is great, but also boring, and it pops up really in the end game instead of the early game. You cannot gain any more boons, but we gain 3 random minor boons. Yeah, sure. Oh, I got 50% damage boon. Ah, robbery. Robbery on our enemies. Chad. Oh, man. Man, that's not nice. Yeah, that's not cool. Hey, so you cannot gain any further boons. Proceeds to get one of the best boons that you absolutely want / need / that makes every single run better. Right?
A great challenge overcome. An oasis in the desert.
Merchant, but I can't get boons, so it doesn't make sense, right? Because what does it help if I get a boon? Can't do anything anyways. I gotta say, after now playing Path of Exile 1, by the way, and doing the Path of Exile 1 Sanctum, guys, I prefer Path of Exile 2, Trials of Sekimus, over the Sanctum in Path of Exile 1. Vastly. However, Sanctum wasn't bad. Just that this one is better, in my eyes. A single flash grenade will take out entire screens. Oh, that's completely normal. Flash grenades are absolutely love. Flash grenades and explosive shots are enough to clear full screens. Oh, doorbell. Have you tried the new POE League? Yes. We made an insane build. We destroyed pinnacle bosses. We're good. Okay, so reload. Break his armor. Then Riven armor shot. Frost reloads. The best part is, since we're using this weapon, right? It's not like that I just found a good weapon and do this. I just have that weapon. Right? Okay, we're gonna ascend. And the ascension is Amazon. Now the goal is, in the long run, that we're gonna use critical strike. Chance to hit with attacks can exceed 100%. Gain additional critical hit chance equal to 25% of excess chance to hit, right? We're going to use that down the line. And we might actually use the bonus weapon damage as well, because it works. However, what do we use now? In the beginning. We could probably just go for skill speed plus weaknesses, right? For the time being. Yeah. The bonus crit is right now, like, we wouldn't exceed, like, we have... How much chance to hit? We have... Man, we have 100% chance to hit, right? We're not really exceeding it much, so I don't think it would work that well. If at all, to be honest. A golden key, you say? And we get a ranger cache, mysterious cache. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. A Stormlands Spearfield build that does really well. Sounds rad, brother. I'm a Spearfield fan. And there's another Spearfield build I want to do. It's called, here. Oh, no. Spear. Well, there's a unique spear. I don't know. Spear of Florada. Spear of... This spear here says always poison on hit with this weapon. Okay? And it says any number of poison from this weapon can affect a target at the same time. Now, there's an interesting way how you can put billions of poisons on the enemy. So we get another build lined up with that as well. Actually, I have two interesting build ideas.
As you wish.
Like to mess around with. Okay, that's 2 to 3 physical, lightning resistance, evasion rating. Leech, not really worth it. That is still 67, so that's more damage.
Does this, however, blessings.
Take that down.
Browse as long as you like.
Can I go for the next Herald of Ice? Nice. Okay, so we're level 23. The more unique crossbows. Honestly, we have some cool unique crossbows. But I will say that I wish we had more. The ones we have are kind of cool. However, I think we have a grand total of 4. Right? And it's always sad when they're like when they're early game crossbows and then you can't use them in late game, right? What I like about the one that we bought here right now is that it is a crossbow that works for end and early game. Okay, so this little bad boy that we have here is meant to be used wholesale for your whole journey.
Necromancers, eh?
However, the only way how that is possible is by using other skills, right? So it's not because the unique crossbow is so good. It's literally because of the infinite reload, right? That's why we can use it later, but we can't use it later because it's just so crazy. Do I still have to unlock the Lightless Passage? I still have to unlock it for this character, right? I mean, not that we need the passage right now, but... How do you not end up with carpal tunnel syndrome with all the gaming you do every day levels? This build here I play mostly with my mouse. I don't actually use my keyboard much, so that keeps my hand very healthy. And I do certain stretch exercises. So there's something that you call a nerve glides that you do for your arms to keep the nerves very healthy and your tendons relaxed and everything. So have a bunch of things I do to stay up and running. However, I don't play a lot of games where I have to permanently hold WASD. So let's say if I would now be playing something like Arc Raiders, right? Where I really have to run around the whole time. I would have to be careful how much I play. Yes. So it's rather easy to actually develop carpal tunnel. Right? I love that we're still mainly just using the frost shot. It's crazy how much one support gem can do, especially the right support gem, Hitman. So it's not like one support gem, it's like the right support gem, right? So sometimes it's the difference that makes and breaks the game. For example, in this build, we can later use Rapid Attacks 3. You can usually never use Rapid Attacks 3 because Rapid Attacks 3 does reduce your damage by it gives you 50% attack speed, but reduces your damage by 35%. That's obviously awful because you don't want that, right? You don't want your damage to be reduced. However, later, the damage we're dealing is definitely not going to be the actual frost shot anymore, right? It's going to be what the Riven armor does. So that's where we can use maximum attack speed to actually do more damage, even though we do less damage. Isn't that brilliant? Okay, finally, we have arrived. Taking me long enough. Be careful, your wrist has been hurting. I recommend playing builds that you can play with mouse only. I mean, right now I do left click, right click, left click, right click, right?
Reckon I'll add a few more bones to the pile.
Okay, we're gonna break his armor. Okay, we can hit both of them at the same time, Chan. It's hard to like hit both of them at the same time because I can't turn my shots. And probably if I hold like tab, I could turn the shot properly. Okay, we're gonna do the armor breaking again. First, break the armor on both. Then apply Riven armor on both. This and the angry. Okay, the open wounds are just working so well for the shotgun, right? Wasn't sure how well this was gonna go down, right? But it does do absolutely fantastic.
Now
freeze him. Are plus levels important to POE in 1? What do you mean? Plus 2 levels in skills, right? Are there even plus 2 levels in skills equipment in POE 1 like that? I don't even remember. Or you mostly just quality up your gems and you're good about it. Okay, what is this? 48 plus 22 plus projectile skills. Armor piercing rounds go up to slightly more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's good damage. We like it. Could even use one here of our physical damage is mana here, even more fire damage. There we go.
I hear you. No need. I'll unburden you.
See how much more damage you would do, by the way. So we got 70 damage per permafrost bolt, right? With weapon number 2. So weapon number 2 gives us 70 damage. That's 700 damage per blast. Whereas weapon number 1 has infinite shots, but is only 43 damage, right? So that's where we're slowly but steady losing out on the damage raise, or that's where we're slowly but steady, like the permafrost bolts are not performing as crazy as they used to. But still, due to having like these infinite bullets, it's still better to use them, right?
This valley were carved, and not by man neither.
And having an infinite bullets is always preferable. Some more damage, right? Is there Sorcerer's Aura to boost your frost? Well, we're already playing the Herald of Ice. That spreads the shattering of enemies. So if an enemy dies, he just shatters. And so if a frozen enemy dies, he shatters and does damage to the enemies around him. So I pretty much freeze and then I shoot, right? But then since we kill them, then it's like chain explosion style. So that's quite useful and helps us to like clear the mosses out. Already using some sorceress related shenanigans. So a lot of the clear here is coming together.
Oh my word. Incredible.
If I had to do this now with like a 2-shot reload, 2-shot reload, 2-shot reload, you know how awful that would feel? Oh, come on. This is way better. Elemental affinity. I mean, we could apply elemental exposure with frostbomb technically, but then you would have to like weave in frostbomb in between. Right? I mean, and it's all like, whatever you do, it wouldn't like make us so much faster. So sometimes simplicity over juicing around with stuff. And right now you're playing a build where we can pretty much just hold down right mouse button and we kill everything. Right? We got another one of the crossbows, chat. I said there's 2. See? This one is attacks chain 2 additional times, right? But now let's compare these 2 crossbows. So you could get attacks chain 2 additional times, or you could get infinite shooting. What are you gonna take, Chad? These 2 crossbows, they don't even stand remotely in relation to each other on a scale of usefulness, right? One's like, oh, that's so nice that you exist. And the other one's like, what the fuck? Never had one drop. Yeah, I got multiple of these crossbows that I have right now. Okay. But the main hurdle is going to be Jamanra, right? We all know how complicated Jamanra is and how many builds struggle with him. So that's going to be the real deal when the build starts feeling odd or iffy, right? How easy is it going to be to kill Jamanra, chat? What do you think? What's your feeling tell you right now? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be easy? Are we gonna struggle? We'll definitely have to review our review our skills and see if we have to change something. We have a lot of dock emotes. That's because we have a super cute dock, Mr. C playing. That is actually the emote that used to be also more often on stream. However, since we have children, he just does not like to hang out with me anymore. Why hang out with dad when you can hang out with the children instead? I think it's easy with Jamanra. That's not true. Grenades make Jamanra really easy. And I've never struggled with a grenade merc on Jamanra. Oh, okay, so the only thing you struggle with is mana. Yeah, the Fissure Warrior also just pooped on Jamanra. So, definitely more or less struggle on him. But Jamanra is also an equipment check. Let's be fair about that, right? So if you didn't pay attention to your equipment, if you didn't check vendors enough, you might just hit a wall on Jamanra by virtue of just not paying enough attention. You freeze me? You know what? I was going to let you live, but now not anymore. You froze me. This is war. Okay, 10% bonus attack damage, then 10% and then even more. Good. For was easy kill Jamanra was Perfect Strike Warrior. Yes, Perfect Strike Warrior has always been good. Just hit him and be done with it. I'm gonna say totems did really well on him as well. So that was nice. Like Fissure totems generally good playstyle, good fun. But yes, the old Perfect Strike though. Not like new Perfect Strike is obviously not terrible, but old Perfect Strike was definitely something. Should I just run campaign or do I need to grind bosses? I think my gear sucks. I mean, your gear sucks usually means go more to vendors. Also, lands, which game are we talking about? Path of Exile 1 or 2 now? If you're playing Path of Exile 2, you need to beat the campaign, yes. I mean, there's usually no reason to ever grind in the in Path of Exile 2 during the campaign. You just play, right? And have a good time. You might end up being underleveled in a region because you push too hard, but usually if you're playing for your first time, you're never you shouldn't ever end up underleveled, right? You're more or less gonna end up overleveled. And right now this is 27 area and I'm 25, so I end up usually like 2-3 levels below, unless I'm pushing really hard. Then it's 4 to 5 levels below. But it's no fun to do that, so I'd rather take it slower and have a better time. What gem is used for armor breaker? Needed for my lightning spear build. Okay, armor broken. Riven armor applied. Colossus here is such an easy kill. So there is a lineage support that you can use for armor break-in. Okay, we're so far still not falling off in damage, right, Chad? I mean, seriously, what is this? Yep.
I'd better scarper before his corpse causes an earthquake.
Okay, still no drop off, Chad.
No gem for a big
We're getting only stronger. We're not getting weaker. It's good to see.
How can I?
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Better crossbow, better armor, evasion rating 145. I mean, like I prefer like an actual armor chest, you know, like what was it called again? An armor chest. That's what it called, an armor chest. Funny, long minute there.
Goodbye. If my thing,
You
I will tell your tale.
corner of his Fury.
Marketh honor me.
Actually, go to hooded one.
I'm worthy.
Quickly.
Back to basics.
And we're gonna refund this 1 point here that we put because that was useless, and we're gonna put it here, movement speed. Yep. And then we get even more end main. Why not use the skill that consumes the frost crazy odd? You take too long doing that.
For glory.
I would efficiently lose DPS for swapping to the skill that consumes. Right? Like literally, we would lose DPS.
In all my wanderings, I've not seen anything like this.
I pretty much just have the fragmentation rounds for having them
I am
for the time being.
swiftly.
If you wanted to swap over to them, you could, but that would require you on every single freeze to go like fragmentation swap, right? Because the weapon stats and swap, it doesn't change the fact that you lose DPS crazy odd. Sir. This is the way how the
To be led to
crossbow spamming works. Let's find the lady.
the ultimate.
I'm just surprised how much damage a level 1 bow still does. So this is a level 1 crossbow, right? In case you didn't understand that. The Rampart Raptor is a level 1 crossbow, chat. And we're like level 25. That's how silly this is. Jawbones! Honestly, due to the freeze, this area is easier than ever. Is it worth to swap from low level good stat gear to better gear that has higher level armor but less stats? Stats are not so important during leveling, sir. Like right now you want raw survival. So that's often where you, for example, armor gear. You always want the higher armor value, right? Because more armor is more damage reduction. I'm, for example, not looking at resistances at all while I'm leveling. It's always just like that. For boots, when it comes down to that, you obviously want to have boots that have movement speed optimally, right? And there it doesn't matter like if they're then low level or not, as long as you have the movement speed, that's good. However, for rings and gloves, often it's flat damage stats, right? Depending on what obviously you play. But there, I also don't care about the item level that much. Chest piece, I'll try to take the highest item usually available. Because more armor is more armor, is more armor, is more armor, is more armor, is more evasion rating, is more whatever, right? So usually that is superior to look for. Oh, we found her this easy. Usually struggle to find her. I'm using until Act 4, I was doing a frostbolt through fragmentation. It was effective. Now I made it to maps and you're weak. Yeah, that can happen.
Makes me heart ache for home.
Maps just needs a different level of clear. We are going to clear maps either with Siege Cascade. That's my plan. Or we might be clearing maps just with Flash Grenade. Both are possible options. So I'm not planning to use my Frost Fragmentation or anything, right? They're meant for boss killing. While for map clearing, we'll need something else. However, in the beginning, you obviously don't have that something else. I don't know from what level on I can actually use Siege Cascade. This so far support gems. I haven't had a skill gem in a while. Siege Cascade is somewhat later. Also, I do believe dragon movement speed boots are over exaggerated, because with the sprint feature, it's like okay to not have them anymore, right? Back in the days, if you didn't have movement speed boots, you had like no way of actually moving faster. But nowadays, it's like I have sprint, I don't care. So I personally don't even look at movement speed anymore. Right? Because how much faster do you want to move? Obviously, the movement speed boots help if you move like skill cast move, skill cast move, skill cast move. Like, for example, let's say the monk, who's like hitting and then moving, hitting and then moving and so on. However, the monk was also just dashing between targets, so it was like, what even for? Gem 13 for Siege Cascade, so 58. Probably 52, right? Or 56. Yeah, Siege Cascades would be kind of what we use for clearing when the frost falls off. Again, the frost is going to be changed for fragments at some point. Just that the frost is really convenient currently for what we're doing. But that's also why we're leveling this, right? So I could have also just locked in on my max level Huntress, right? And we could have made the build, Chad. But what does that teach you? That wouldn't be a fun stream, right? I prefer this more. Interestingly enough, I think if I was using grenades, I would actually clear faster right now than with the frost rounds. But I like this still, so I'm fine. Oh, wow. I get kind of stuck. I'm starting with tier 1 maps with Merc, very new to POE 2. If you're struggling with tier 1 maps, you're usually either under-leveled or your build might not be optimal. Could be a gear thingy, but it's most likely a build-related issue. I mean, what works during leveling usually falls flat in mapping often, because you're just need a different kind of density clear, different kind of survival and that kind of stuff, right? Which is not the same anymore. I mean, surprised that mapping's not the same as campaign, but you get the drift. Is there a new league coming soon? Because I'm planning investing more into a build. December is so far what it looks like for the new league. But we actually don't have any news, so it does look like December. However, like, details are missing. So what do we know even? I mean, they said December, and last year we also had a December update, so yay. But right now they're obviously focusing on Path of Exile 1, which makes Path of Exile 2 players obviously feel like they don't matter anymore, right? They're like, where's my content? And they're like, nah, sorry, we got 2 games we got to take care of, right? You're like, but that's bad. Please ignore the 1 game and just take care of the other game. Okay, these guys with shields are super annoying for a shotgun playstyle, right? What's your favorite class? Actually, it is Merc. I'm just a sucker for the grenade playstyle. Grenade playstyle is just pure love. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus. A potion ran out. Sorry, try-harding chat. Quick try-harding session. Alright. Quick try-harding. Okay. Where do we go next? I'm gonna go for attack speed here. Probably the best one I have available for the time being. Okay, we're missing the... what is it called again? Lightning resistance shrine. I wish you would try a Thorn's build. Nah, Thorn's boring. Sorry. Just absolutely not a playstyle I even remotely enjoy. Right? You know, all these stupid birds sitting there and shooting their slimy mucus at me. Definitely not helpful. Okay, where is the lightning shrine, ladies and gentlemen? Lightning shrine, where are you? Left, right. The dead end. It's mostly spear mace play side with a boost from breaking armor and getting hit. Yep. But I just don't like Thorn. Thorns is not a power fantasy that is interesting to me. You know? Like, get hit, do more damage. It's just simply it, right? It's just nothing that even remotely intrigues me. And like, I don't want to make it work, if that makes sense. And if I have that stage with a build, then, you know, I mean, right now, there's, for example, why do I want to do this? Well, because the interesting part is that they added Riven armor, so that's a complete new mechanic. Riven armor didn't exist in the game before, right? So they added that. And since it's a new mechanic, it's like intriguing to make it work. We pretty much used Riven armor before for our I don't know which build we actually used it on, but there was a build we used it on, so we have used it and it was fun. However, like we never fully leaned into it, so now's the time to lean more into it.
You are relentless, but that makes you predictable. The time of the Paladin is nigh.
Hello.
Back in your own.
Armor broken. Okay, again, we break armor. Chat. Okay. Armor broken. Riven armor. And right now we need attack speed and reload speed to make this like pop off more. Okay, in this boss fight I can say again, I don't feel like that my cross shots are in any way. See, like here, okay, so we froze him, right? And he's dead. Yeah, I wanted to actually freeze him and then do the other shot, but I didn't even get to that. So we wanted to freeze him to then do the other shot, but we actually never get to that point where we froze him to do the other shot. Do you have a build guide for this? Not yet, sir, because we're currently making it. You know? I already have how it looks in the end game, but it obviously does look different leveling than in the end game. Okay, where are we gonna go skill point wise? Attack speed, attack speed. Is there a different attack speed note that we could have taken? No, there's like nothing attack speed wise, right? Attached to it. Not really.
Need some my wares. I shall put this to use.
Okay, 12 to 50. 39, 189, better armor. Like, for example, 189, better armor and lightning resistance. Doesn't hurt to buy. This is 2 to 6 physical damage would be great, but this is 1 to 6 lightning, and lightning is actually better because it allows me to apply shock, so I'd rather keep that.
Blessings.
Okay, now we are in the end game in terms of this map. So let's see how it's going to feel versus Jamanra, chat. Are you ready to mingle and jingle, to bingo and bongo, to tingle and tangle? Oh, one thing that we could do, obviously, that we haven't done right now, Permafrost Bolts. We got Elemental Armament 2, right? It's a slight damage increase, but it is a damage increase. Sorry, lad. It shouldn't be too much of a trouble to go through this, right? Because the only trouble we're having is to walk up to the guys with the spears, right? What kind of potion do I have here? Increased charges gained. Yeah, increased amount recovered. It feels like it doesn't heal anything at all. Another level 8 skill gem, please. Don't mind if I do. I have to go to the right side. Oh, another level 8. Okay, now we're cooking, Chad. Finally. So we got more armor piercing rounds, and we also have more high velocity. What build is this going to be? This is going to be a Rampart Raptor Riven armor machine gun build. That's the best way how to describe it. And the plan is to machine gun away with our fragmentation rounds in the long run. Like we're doing here. So any end game boss, any pinnacle boss is absolutely going to get destroyed by this. And for map clearing, we're going to use a combination of either siege grenades and other shenanigans. Or we might actually focus on a siege cascade and other shenanigans. Or we might focus on flash grenades, just going bonkers. I'm fully decided. Okay, that bonus attack speed is coming in super nifty right now. I wonder how much more crit that would already give me, because we actually went for quite some bonus accuracy rating there now. Right. So, does this feel weak to you so far, chat? Not really, right? Okay, you guys with your shields are mega annoying. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reload this. Yep. Team. Because we have like the shot that goes through everyone, so if I have you all lined up, then I can do that. Chain on them. We have Pierce on them.
Now it ends.
I can't actually put chain on them because I would have to use a jeweler's orb for that. Technically, we could have taken gamble shot instead of Pierce, because gamble shot is like randomly piercing and then chaining, and I am so stuck. Gamble shot is piercing, then chaining, then piercing, then chaining, right? But it would lead to less damage, so I didn't want to do that. This is the first time I'm actually having mana issues. It's really funny because, like, since we are consistently shooting, right? You would think that we have mana problems at some point. The thing is, the only thing that takes up mana in crossbow is reloading. Right? Actually shooting does not take up mana. Correct? I'm actually not using any mana. Okay, everyone with a shield out of my way now. Thank you. Everyone with a shield, I just literally have to like walk into their face. And then I win. Chain? I mean, we could very simply now try something out. So as you say, chain, we can, just for the sake of doing things, we don't have to use the orb. It's just, how does it change? But it would be 50% less damage with hits. I really don't want to do that. Yeah. Grenades is not so stressful. Not really stressful. You're holding down your right mouse button. I mean, the grenades are superior for leveling, that's for sure, but I always believe if I want to play something, I usually go all the way, if that makes sense. I mean, since this is your second character, like, I am making this harder than it has to be. I could obviously equip a unique chest piece that would give me more defense, right? I could equip a, I could buy myself rings that would double or triple my damage at this point. So it's not like you wouldn't be vastly stronger right now. I'm pretty much playing 2 here rings that give me 6 damage bonus, but what is that? Right? 6 damage bonus is nothing. You could have 2 rings that would give you 30 damage bonus. Right? Okay, evasion rating, movement speed. I could work towards even more elemental damage for the time being. Might look like less damage, but when you're clearing it, chains every fragment to the blast with the same enemy. I understand that, but that wouldn't make it better for bosses, right? Essentially make it worse for bosses. So for bosses, I would already have to swap out the gems, and we're not going to start doing that.
Quickly.
Who goes there? Take your time.
I want that chest piece.
Sands guide you.
Zark.
Young one.
Thank you for the lightning resistance
Keep it
thingy.
close.
Right? Doesn't make a difference. Lightning resistance as well. For bosses, you only use freeze, then consume freeze with fragmentation. Not really, to be honest. We don't even do that. Right?
You again. The fool under the hooded one's sway. Do you even know what he is?
Okay, let's break some armor.
No matter. You'll find my king far more capable than Count Gianor. My king, take the power you were promised. Put an end to this nuisance.
She's a hater, chat. Hater.
Bow before your king.
Armor broken. Riven armor.
The Manacans will pay for my people. The Manacans will pay.
Are you really gonna let me just stand AFK on you, Jamonro? Okay.
We're running out of time. End this.
It's funny because you're actually pushing back these guys. So usually they always like they ignite on you, right? And it takes so much damage for you. Okay, that was phase 1. Pretty simple. By Huntress and on Merc, very simple. Because we're going to be using this one here. Chance to hit with exceeds 100% and gain additional critical hit. Chance to equal blah, blah, blah. So we're going to be putting our critical hit up like crazy. Because we need the high velocity round to do a super crit. We might also use penetrate at some point, but probably not. Also, the open wounds are aiding this really well. Whereas the Merc itself has nothing that helps with this apart from Witch Hunter with all the weapon swap points. That's actually quite nifty. Okay, let's break his armor. Oh wow, just doing a bit gritty. So that's like the fight here. Huntress can leech from elemental. Yes, it can, but we're probably not going to require that down the line. Let's see, right? What are those dark red HP splotches? The dark red HP splotches are open weaknesses. And these open weaknesses are from the Huntress vicinity. Yeah. I'm trying to keep away, chat. Trying to resist police brutality.
We're running out of time. End this. What are you doing?
Okay, that was phase 1 again. Would be too much damage. You do more damage-wise on that HP. Yes, so an open weakness here. Reveal weaknesses against rare or unique enemies. 50% more damage against enemies with open weaknesses. So while there is the open weakness there, right, we do 50% more damage. And that's a lot. Later, the real deal comes. This says 40% increased skill speed while an enemy with open weaknesses is in your presence. And if you consider that we are pretty much trying to put the broken armor on him, then shoot him with Riven armor, and then pretty much do as many hits with the frost as possible, with anything as possible in a short amount of time. That's where like the crazy damage comes together, right? So you have to imagine our attack speed times 8 is the goal ultimately. Last time I just stood in his gate. Okay, sir, like there where you're standing is kind of like uncool, so I'm just going to... Yeah. Okay, so this is very nifty. I'm not sad about this. Like if I went for stronger rings, I would have just killed him faster. So even Jamanra dies to a level 1 weapon.
Not yet.
Right? We did not yet have to change anything. Just crazy. Again, if we choose different rings, you can imagine this, right? If we choose rings that do double the damage, it would have just been even easier. That's just down to ourselves making it a bit harder than it has to be. Wonder though if for Act 3 we would have to think about this. Let's look into my stash of riches. Because I have this ring stash here, right? And you have like different ones that do all different damage. So what do we have here? We got 3 to 8 fists, 5 to 9 fire. See, that's already a big difference, right? If you get 5 to 9 fire instead of like 1 to 4 physical. So that's here 6 to 11 fire damage, right? So we could take something like this. Get another 6 to 11 fire. We have... Yeah. So right now, actually fire, wonder how much that works for the permafrost. Still does, right? So suddenly we're sitting at 17. And it's 70 times 10, right? So it's either 48 times 10 or it's 70 times 10. What do you would rather want to have, ladies and gentlemen?
Go on, tell me.
And those are just like really weak rings, right? We could have just had so much better rings.
I have not.
Wonder like on the market if you have like any here, what is it, a category ring?
A god. I am the thief.
And then item level 15 to 30.
And I have failed once again. It was I who created the beast.
And you would take
The seed of corruption that now threatens to grow anew.
1 to 4 physical. Wonder if there's any.
As it is my
Jesus Christ, show me a damage ring.
all of Rayclast.
Wait, make it trade filter cost exalted.
All I can ask is that
At least 2.
who I am.
So that's going to be good rings then,
The
right?
importance of our
Okay, 1 to 3 cold damage with attacks. C6 to 11.
task has grown beyond
To
our
11.
ability to contain it.
10.
We must
Double
search
here.
for
See,
something
that's alone 15 damage from that ring, right?
While I slumber, there
I don't believe it. An ancient Asmeri in the flesh.
Let's see.
Yes.
Travel
I'm
forward.
the beast has grown too powerful.
Ah, we need a skill gem to figure out what is happening next, chat. So skill gem, skill gem, skill gem, skill gem, skill gem, skill gem.
Stay in sight.
We need to. So Siege Cascade is tier 12, tier 13. I wonder if we could use explosive shot for early clear over the frost. Thing is, again, explosive shot is something you usually don't use. 7. Shit, I don't have a 10. I can't use 10 already, right? 10 is level 36. Can I use the currency exchange? I can't use the currency exchange. I need a 7 because I want to try out how you get a 7, right?
Humidity.
In this act.
Spirit how
Yeah, I have 8 already.
breath of the mountains.
So I need a 7 to try out explosive shot.
You're mine.
Would be the question if this would have actually been better for the yeah. Wait, let me get a 7 quickly. So I can try something out. Buying items easier than launch? Yes, the in-game trade is insane. You have asynchronous trading. You just look up things and then you just get stuff and donezo. Why is my character here? By the way, we revamped the hideout, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
I'm here. Glad to see.
Once more.
Have you found
Wait, I don't have the currency exchange lady yet with her. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Gonna play the. I poisoned your mom. I think you're playing POE 2. No. At POE 1, we already did everything more or less in POE.
Some work, but it'll hold.
Is this character? Why are we? Oh, that I poison your mom is the wrong character again. Hollow Palm. Yep. Jesus. Sorry, chat. Bunch of wrong characters.
Welcome.
What are we doing here? Angie, I was looking for you. Currency exchange, thank you. I want a uncut skill gem level 7. And you can have, wow, it's 8 chaos orbs. Really? Why? Why? Just why?
All right, your order is registered.
Enough, so I'm not too worried. I need to try out something. Where's my Amazon? Amazon. Where are you? Riven armor madness? I prompted a new build. I saw something interesting and I wanted to see if I can make it work in a way. Shot, we need the armament. What else? None of the multi-shot would actually work. So instead of that, the plan following. Do this. Wonder if that turns out stronger. So shoot once, reload, and then only problem is you wouldn't need your Herald of Ash anymore. Your Herald of Frost.
There's no end to him.
Kind of funny. Okay, so we tried that out. Wait, now let's put this back to the permafrost. Permafrost turns out stronger, right? Yeah, so the
Everywhere I go, the Ratham's always a step ahead.
explosive shot is nifty, but the frost with the still better, right? Because it's freezing. Frost vastly more attack speed. Yep. The only advantage of the explosive shot is it's on distance, right? Whereas with the pellets, I really gotta I gotta get close and personal, right? Oh wow, something ate me. So with the pellets, I gotta go close and personal. I gotta always be inside. Whereas if I just care about going through monsters, mobs, whatever, wow, we are still at 500 HP. Should actually be at 800 HP by now, so we definitely didn't pick up good gear.
More coming out of the water. They make for a cure.
See how much damage that deals partially. Damn. That high velocity round is clapping at times. Low resist gear. Low resist gear doesn't count for shit in the beginning. I mean, the best part is we wouldn't have to find like a single better crossbow, right? Because so far, yes, we have been using the high velocity rounds, but it's more like for the YOLOs than for actual good gameplay. So it's all just still down to the frost burst.
What I can buy.
And then good luck.
She's friendly like. A rare.
Question is though, if we would use the explosive shot on crossbow number 2, right? If we would use the explosive shot on crossbow number 2, it does, so this one does 500 damage per shot. With multi-shot, it's actually 1,500 damage, right? Whereas our permafrost rounds currently on weapon number 1, right? They do 700 damage per shot. However, they have a very good attack speed, right?
Some pretty things, yes?
When's that magical point reached where the permafrost is just not doing it anymore? 187.
Yeah, take your time. My tribe could use that. Don't drink the water.
Level 9. Level 9 would give me Stormblast bolts, but we don't want that. We could do Siege Ballista for better clearing, technically, but we have, like, no investment in Ballista at all. The Cannonade Crossbow. Just does more damage than my other crossbow here, which is at 55. This one is at 93 already.
If you hear a click, duck.
You never use 2 crossbows at one. Oh, that like, if you're a mercenary, you should always use 2 crossbows. And might it only be that you're going to be using one for grenades and the other one for explosive shot, right? Because the explosive shot crossbow does need different things than the grenade crossbow. So that alone for that, you kind of want to have it. Okay, crypts, we can go in them in a bit. Want to fight monkey? Need to find Big Monkey. Where is he? Please check the double vision crossbow. I don't have the double vision crossbow, sir. Check it out once we're back in town. Where'd you switch to Ritualist in the beginning? No. I don't see that. You're definitely profiting more from... Did I think I would survive that? By the way, yes, I thought I would. So you're definitely profiting more from being a Huntress than a Ritualist early on. I mean, Huntress is direct damage increase to your most annoying targets, and that's bosses. Like, you don't actually need any damage increase to anything else, because normal enemies, they have 1-2 freeze, 1-2 freeze, 1-2 freeze, so that doesn't matter at all. The only, like, in case you wonder why it's stuttering, that's what we're trying to figure out too. No, in case you wonder why it's stuttering, we're trying to figure that out too. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, recovery from flasks. Ritualist is nifty as soon as you have like the multiple ring slots and then you boost the usefulness and that kind of stuff. But until then, it's just, yeah, whatever. And obviously to then boost the rings meaningful, you also have to have good rings. So what else are you going to then boost if you don't have anything? Okay, we got the man, the myth, the legend. Let's break his armor. I clearly rolled past that, and I'm not even, it's not even up for discussion, chat. Yeah, this is still going more than fine with a frost shot. I mean, look at this, chat. Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Yeah, that was the consumption of the fragmentation rounds that once in a while just went through the roof there. Okay, we got the attack speed for the faster attacking with elemental damage, so we can do that. That's even more for our frost damage. We could try to get a companion for no reason but, pretty much, like big buts. Projectiles have a chance against enemies. I mean, we could do projectiles have critical damage bonus against enemies within 2 meters and deal increased damage with hits against enemies within 2 meters. I think that makes sense, right? Because we're just right now standing inside of people, so why will we not take that? Right? I mean, if I use my fragmentation rounds, I am pointing them down your throat, and I pull the trigger. That's working. Physical damage, sir, you're aware that we're mostly doing elemental damage, right? At this point. And I just don't have meaningful physical damage around anyways. Rah. I hate this area. I lasted 10 seconds without saying it, chat. I want my... Where's my medal? Chat, I lasted 10 seconds without complaining. Where's my medal? You go up for Monk for that? No, Monk is also mostly attack damage. There are some physical damage nodes there, but it's mostly attack damage, attack damage, attack damage, attack damage. I mean, we have a mix of attack and elemental right now, which is fine for the time being. Obviously, that will change later down the line, so this is like literally for leveling purposes, right? Please be the end of it. No! I wonder if with the grenade crossbow it would be worth it to look for stun grenade for clearing now. Companion is best in your opinion. Best for what? I mean, technically, like, haste aura is amazing, right? Movement and attack speed is king. Doing certain things. And obviously we have the frozen mandibles now. which was kind of a different kind of OP. Yeah, that's that. And I had an armor break pet that I used to break armor, so I don't have to do it myself. So I got a frozen mandibles with armor break, and that was just perfection because it would just go around and break the armor of my enemies. Don't even want to know how useful that was. Not here, unlikely. Jeez. Haha. Okay, we got it. That shit knocked out Chad. Okay, only 3 more levels, and we can use the bombardment crossbow and think about using stun grenades to actually clear things. I mean, we should potentially do a lot with this. Stun threshold, because that's the only thing that can hold us back, right? If we get stunned by something. Oswaldo. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Use an alchemy orb or something, probably. Next area. Oh, we found Sebastian. No, wait. Is that Sebastian? No, this is a weird mutation. Okay, we get the infested barons, chat. This is good. So far, so nice. We went a decent way along. Works out quite well. If we cocked on these nodes, we could have reached this earlier, but that wouldn't make much difference. The attack speed was definitely helpful here. The projectile damage was needed. The attack speed we wanted and the attack damage. I mean, nah, you can't keep on those. Looks a bit weird for the starter, but I guess it does the job, right? I mean, technically, we could cut these 3 points and do this here, right? But I don't think that's worth it so far. Yeah. Okay, chat. We're going to cut it here, though, because I got a doctor's appointment. And I'll be back tomorrow with a part 2. And we're going to tomorrow do a very long day. And hopefully I'll have the performance figured out of the game because... yeah, right now this is god-awful, and I gotta figure out how to actually make this not stutter and lag like it does. Therefore, I'll be back tomorrow. I pretty much leveled so far just with the Rampart Raptor and the 2 cold damage lives in it, because the bonus damage is actually quite significant. So that has been working out fantastic. And yes, you didn't need to go for a different weapon, just that, just the Lord Permafrost Bolt, and obviously use the fragmentation rounds if you want to. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow for more. Until then, take care, and I hope to see you all there, so you can see what this build does in its full final form.